Good day. Hello, everybody. Sorry about the false start there. Had a little technical problem at the last second. What are the odds? Hey, Wolfie. I got a kitty walking back and forth, so bear with me. She'll figure it out. She'll figure it out. Give her a chase, will you? Hello. Welcome back to a stream. Welcome to, as most of you probably know, what's probably going to be my last regular stream for the foreseeable future. Kind of announced earlier this week, both here and in my Discord, that I have decided to kind of retire out, step back from content creation of this manner. Hang on a second. Let me do this. There it is. Let's zoom in on me. Onlydraven for a few minutes. So I'm stepping away from the YouTube channel. I'm going to talk about that a little bit here. Why, motivations, what's going on. But I want to start off by saying thank you, everybody who came by and said hi today. I appreciate you swinging by. This, like I said, is this going to be my last stream ever? No, I can guarantee that. I'll probably pop on maybe once in a blue moon. Still probably going to do an Extra Life stream in November, like a 12-hour Extra Life charity stream. Not being as active, I'm sure we won't make as much, but, you know, anything for charity is better than nothing, right? But, so I'm going to chat a little bit about kind of what's going on, motivations, why I made this decision, and I guess what I'm going to be looking at doing next. But, thank you all. And I'm going to say this several times over the evening. How long I'm streaming tonight, I haven't totally decided yet, but thank you, everybody who's been a part of the community, who's come by and hung out and played games and chatted and liked and subscribed and all that stuff. Supported the channel one way or another, either just by hanging out and being a part of the community, and those folks who at different times have donated towards charity streams or towards channel goals or just towards helping me out and making this mini business project work a little bit. I didn't start the channel to be a streamer. You know what I mean? I've talked about that before. I never started this to stream. Beware, that's a kitty butt walking in front of the camera. It's okay. You're fine. Just hang out. Yes, Buffy wants some attention. Well, guy cut our lawn a couple hours ago and it scared her. She's my kitty. But I just started making videos, tutorials. Never with the intention of making money or anything like that at all. I started because I wanted to kind of give back in a way that was helpful. As many of you know, hello Paula, hello Bead. Let me go through the list. Let me say hi, everybody's here. Hello Bead Mode, good day. Ezreal, good day Ezreal. Hello James, Anubis, Stephen, hello. Hello Turtle, welcome. Hello Mr. Beast, hey, how you doing, buddy? I haven't seen you in a little while. Hello Eddie, Evie, oh Miss Evie, it's nice to see you. Hello Paula. Mr. James Jury in there. I think I said Mr. James, but in case I didn't the first time I was skimming through the list. Now I started making tutorials because I got frustrated that there weren't any tutorials for me. I'd started playing Sky Factory 3 because Achievement Hunter was playing Sky Factory 3. Loved their channel, loved their content, and I wanted to play. It was my first mod pack ever. And when I needed to try to figure out how to do something, there weren't any steps to do that. The closest I could find were people's 1 or 2 hour long streams titled what I needed to know, but it was 5 minutes in the middle of that 2 hour stream, and I'd be skimming through trying to find the 5 minutes that I needed, right? So I did that. I learned how to do things, and I'm like, well, I don't want everybody else to have to go through that, so I started then condensing that and tried to make it into easy to understand short, quick tutorials. Hello, Stephen. Hello, Michael Spence. Good day. And did that for a little bit. But this was actually my second YouTube channel. My first YouTube channel I started when I had weight loss surgery. Draven, you chunky boy, you had weight loss surgery? I did, and I lost close to 300 pounds. I got very skinny for a little bit there. And I was cataloging through weekly vlogs my weight loss journey. And while I was doing that, I learned how to load videos and edit and stuff for that. I then was doing the Minecraft thing, so I decided I'd make a second channel called Onlydraven Gaming. The first one was just called Onlydraven. And, well, close to it. I mean, I was like close to 300. I was 450 pounds at my largest. And then I had weight loss surgery, and I got down to like 186. So, like 350, 360, something like that. My math is not strong, you know that. But I lost a lot of weight. From a bariatric surgery. And I made some tutorials, and then I forgot about the tutorials. And I was really working on the weight loss thing. Not to build that channel up, but because I was very focused on the weight loss journey. Surgery changed my life and how I had to live for a long time. And didn't think about the tutorials. And then I came back to the channel like 4 or 5 months later just to check on it. I hadn't even logged in. And saw that I had like 10 to 20 times the amount of, if not 100 times the amount of subscribers on the YouTube channel, and people were really enjoying the tutorials. I'm like, oh crap, I'm focusing on the wrong one. So I started making more tutorials. Did that for several months until back then, if I remember correctly, you had to have a certain viewer count or subscriber count before you could really even stream live. It's way different now. Back then you had to have 1,000 subscribers before you could make a penny on any of your videos. And every view you made before that didn't count. You never get back paid for that. Well, it's a pleasure to have you as well, Mr. Jury. 300, yeah, like I said, it was a lot. And really started making video game stuff. Started making a bunch more Sky Factory 3, and then like a month or so later, Sky Factory 4 dropped. And started making tutorials week 1, and that's where the channel really exploded. Well, the channel picked up. And I started streaming that November or December because I wanted to do a charity stream for Extra Life. And I did 1 or 2 test streams to see if I could make it work. And I did the charity stream. It did real well. I had fun. Kept on streaming. Now, mind you, I was already a Twitch affiliate by that point. Even though I never actively streamed on Twitch. I'd stopped streaming on Twitch a year before I even created my YouTube channel. I became an affiliate over there because all my friends were streaming. And they wanted me to play PUBG with them. So I would, and then when they weren't around, I started streaming some 7 Days to Die and a little bit of Minecraft over there. Vanilla, I think. And 7 Days to Die. I did a lot of 7 Days to Die, which got me more views than anything else on Twitch. And just happened to get all the achievements to make myself affiliate, but I never did anything with it. So, YouTube started streaming, enjoyed it, started streaming, putting up more videos. Channel started to grow a little bit, fairly steady. And then the pandemic hit, right? Even in that window before the pandemic hit, I started focusing all my free time on streaming and making videos. And by doing so, I stopped working out at the gym, which I used to do 2 or more hours 5 to 6 days a week during that whole weight loss. I had gotten pretty good shape, to be honest with you. In fact, I may have a picture. I'll show you a picture here real quick. Let's see if I can find this. This was right around the time... where's the picture? Bear with me. You'd think I'd know how to do this stuff by now, right? Media file, there it is. No, that's video. Where's image? They always move stuff around. There it is, image. Add a source. New source. Look at me learning how to do things on the fly. Perfect time to pick it up, right? So this was a picture of me right around the time I started streaming. I'd lost a lot of weight. I was working out a whole lot. But then I started doing YouTube all the time. And I stopped working out. And I started doing shots for money and snacks for money and all that kind of stuff. And then the pandemic hit, and I couldn't do anything at that point. Money was tight for everybody. Everybody was stuck at home. And I gained a ton of my weight back over that like 4 or 5 year period. All the work I'd done to lose that kind of went away. And that always was a sore spot for me, but limited time, limited space. I can only do so many things at once, right? My wife's health, as you know, was very poor for several years in the middle of that as well, which also was another big stressor when I ended up eating more and blew my diet out of the water and all that kind of stuff. And I gained a lot of weight back. Never got quite back up to the size I was before my weight loss surgery. But I got big. But yeah, the channel grew. Then the pandemic hit, and everybody got stuck at home and started playing Minecraft, and the channel exploded a little bit. And that's when I really started doing a lot. And I stepped away from my job and went part-time, trying to make this a full-time gig, you know, because I figured if I could, well, then I'll do that. Why would I not? This is way more fun than regular jobs. And it never quite worked out. People like my Minecraft content. People did not like anything else I did. I tried streaming a ton of different things, you know, different games. I did like Skyrim. I would wake up early and do a morning Skyrim stream for like a couple of months, like 40 episodes, I think, in that series. Maybe not that many, but a lot. It's on here somewhere. You ever want to see Draven play Skyrim? I realized nobody wanted to see anything except for Minecraft. A little bit of people came to the Merge World stuff, but it never picked up a whole lot. Hello, Miss Ashley. Just talking a little bit about the history of the channel right now. We're gonna look at some Minecraft stuff here in a few minutes, by the way. I actually downloaded some of the very original worlds that I streamed when I started 8 years ago. That most of you have never seen, unless you went back and watched my very early stream series. And I thought we'd take a look at some of those old worlds. People like Turtle and James and Terry, if he's out there, they might remember those old ones. Yeah, I got stuck in the niche of Minecraft, which is fine. That's why a couple years back I tried doing other stuff on Twitch, tried to kind of split it up, but the Twitch thing never really took off. Because again, everybody wanted to see Minecraft, nothing else. How old are we talking? The very first Minecraft series I ever streamed. I have that. I have the first 2 Minecraft series I ever streamed. I tried to download the old community servers that I saved worlds, but for some reason they wouldn't load. It shows them in the folder, but it's not showing them in the game, so I have to figure out what's going on with that. Yeah, I tried doing other stuff, and so for a lot of times this was a part-time job, right? Like it was making me a fair amount of money on the side, like not a ton, but enough that it helped supplement my family's income. I went back working full-time and, you know, switched jobs a few times during that period, just switched jobs again. And over the last year, the channel has very heavily started to decline, where some weeks I've lost more subscribers than I've gained. And that's understandable. And it's my own fault, right? I stopped making videos, except for made some Sky Factory 5 ones being here. I ran out of stuff to make videos on, you know? And people could say, are you going to do tutorials for this Minecraft pack or this pack or this pack? And I never found a pack enough that I liked that I'd spend enough time in to justify it. And then 3/4 of the things that I would do tutorials for that pack were already done from Sky Factory 4 or other things that I did. You know what I mean? Refined Storage was in all of them. AE was in all of them. You know, Tinkers is in all of them. There's only so many that you can do. You know what I mean? So I just started running out of stuff to do, and time-wise as well, with work, my wife's health, and everything else going on. So the channel has been slowly declining, less financial benefit, to the point that, and streaming never really made money, except for those few situations where people donated, which I always appreciated, a bajillion tons. Always helped me and my family or my pets or what was going on in our lives. It was always appreciated, anyone who ever did that. Especially when you were helping with the charity streams and making money for good causes. The streaming never made much money. Streams without it, if it was a stream with no donation, just to give you an idea, with my viewer count, I would average $2 to $3 a stream for 2 to 4 hours of work. To give you an idea of how that worked out. You know what I mean? YouTube streaming doesn't make much. And so I'm not making videos anymore. Digging down a little bit. You know what I mean? So, which is fine. Again, I wasn't putting out the content I did. But I found that I haven't played Minecraft for fun in 2 or 3 years. I only play Minecraft for streaming. And every year I do Sky Factory 4 at least once. I do in all the mods. I go back to a Stone Block or a Sky Farm or an Insane Craft, something I've done before. There's not that many new ones come out that I find that enjoyable anymore. So I'm not playing for fun anymore. I'm also just in games in general. I've been playing less and less games in my personal life just because I find I've been playing the same games. No real newer games are coming out that really are catching my interest. Had a couple months period of Dying Light and Dying Light 2 this year that I was like really invested in for a couple months, but then I played it so much I burned myself out on that. So, right now I'm dabbling with No Man's Sky again because they just had a big update come out earlier this week where you can actually build your own Millennium Falcon sized ships that you can walk around inside of now. Very cool. I'm waiting for the expedition to come out. If you've never played No Man's Sky, I highly recommend it. I'm going to address the chat real quick before I keep going. So pandemic here in Australia. Well, it was my pleasure to do so. I remember watching your video years ago playing Jackbox. Sad to see you're leaving. I assume I'm going to come back and occasionally do a Jackbox night, especially when the new Jackbox pack comes out in like October, I think. If it doesn't get pushed back, I'll probably come back and do a slightly longer Jackbox question. Shame to watch you play the game. Merge Worlds is one of my favorite streams you did. Glad you like that, Ezra. I'll hang out because we're going to talk about that in a minute. We see Onlydraven. Probably not all of them, though, because they're all pretty much identical. And to be honest with you, I've forgotten where most of them are at this point. I've forgotten where I hid them. I did a good job of hiding them. I think I remember where one is, and if we can find that one today, I'll check it out. Tinker's your beloved, right? So at this point, there's other things that I'd like to do creatively, other projects I've wanted to work on and things, and I felt like, I'm not getting any younger. I am old, my friends. Old man Draven. That's me. And I'm not getting any younger. And there are some things that one day I'd like to leave behind. Hey, no problem, Juice. Thank you for coming by, boss. Have yourself a good evening. Are you going to keep doing the tutorials? No, because I haven't made a tutorial in 7 months. So Sky Factory 5 came out in January. So I don't think I'll be making... I stopped... And before that, I hadn't made a tutorial in almost a year. I haven't made tutorials because I have nothing else to make tutorials about. You know what I mean? And I'm not playing Minecraft for fun, so I'm not really discovering anything because I don't want to play Minecraft. Because all I do is play it for stream. Now maybe once I stop streaming it, after a little while I'll play it for fun and discover some stuff again, and maybe I'll throw some tutorials out for that. I'm not going to say it's never going to happen, but in the short term, no. I don't expect to be putting out regular content. You're what, 45? 48, my friend Gary. Zeno Ken says, the fact that the Sky Factory guides from 5 years are still helping today. Really appreciate all your work. Oh, it's my pleasure. I'm glad they help people out, and they still are. I still get comments and questions, and I do try to answer questions when I see them on tutorials, but YouTube is very limited in which one it notifies me. I got so many, there's no way for me to go check the comments on all of them. And a lot of people leave comments on other people's comments, or they'll leave a question on someone else's comment. I don't get notified about that. I get notified for about 1 out of every 10 comments actually put on one of my videos. So I just, I don't even know. But when I do see one, I try to go in and answer it if I can. 65. Well, that's just it, right? I want to do stuff before I'm 65. So I'm stepping away from regular content creation. I'll still pop on probably a couple times a year to do charity streams, raise money for good causes if I can. And, I'll still pop on and get me when the mood hits me. Maybe I'm just playing a game and want to jump on and chat with folks. I may sometimes just jump on the Discord and share my stream. Anybody who wants to jump in and chat can do it. Don't expect that regularly. I'm saying on a rare occasion I might. What can you suggest for Minecraft for fun? Nothing. I mean, there's nothing. It's just I don't enjoy playing the game. It's the same thing over and over again. That's probably part of my issue with most packs. Most packs are the same thing. And if you've been watching for a while, especially those of you who've been here the last couple years, you're gonna find, or you're gonna know that most of the new packs that come out nowadays just piss me off. I don't like them. It's all create and AE and making things harder than it needs to be, and I get frustrated really quickly because they're just not fun. I just don't enjoy them. And I played all the older packs I care to play. Does that make sense? You know what I mean? it's just one. Yeah, that's funny. That's funny, Smashly. Yeah, that's exactly how it is, right? I'm sure you heard of Silk Song. I have not. I have no idea what that is. Modern Minecraft is so much fun until you played all the mods. Well, yeah, and that's just it. Most packs, even if they have one or two new mods in them, the other 150 mods I've played 20 times. You know what I mean? So, doing some other stuff. It's very intimidating. And a lot of people find it. For me, it's just a steaming pile of shit. I always try to be very PC, and even when I'm complaining about stuff, I don't have that desire anymore. Create is a steaming pile of shit. And I hate that somebody made it. Good for them and the people that like it, but fuck, for me, that ruined Minecraft. Create ruined Minecraft for me. Because every creator, all they could do was get a hair up their ass on their own way of trying to use Create to make Minecraft more difficult. And poorly executed in almost every situation I came across. AE was bad enough. But Create was just a big breaking point for me, right? So, excellent. There's other things I wanted to do, right? And that brings me to the big one. So, one thing that I've wanted to do for many years is I've always wanted to write a novel. I've always wanted to be a writer. That's what inspired me to do a lot of everything I've ever done. Dungeons and Dragons and all that. Even before I found D&D, I was writing stories as a kid. So I've always wanted to be a writer. And this is where I'm not getting any older. I have stories I'd like to leave behind. You know what I mean? I don't have any kids. My only sibling does not have any kids. Well, the only sibling I have contact with. I have two half-brothers that I've not spoken to since I was like 10, so I couldn't begin to tell you what their lives are like. They're up in Canada. I don't really have any contact with them. But I'd like to write merged worlds into a novel. Or at least, a novel series. Obviously, wouldn't fit in one. So that's what I'm going to do. That's my big project. I've actually already started a little bit, but there's going to be a lot of work involved with that. Not only going back and watching my own streams and taking notes on things and going over my own notes and what I have written, a lot of it will have to be rewritten, right? If I'm going to put it out in a published form, I can't use anything that's officially Dungeons & Dragons, right? Kender, Gully Dwarves, things like that have to disappear. I have to recreate them into my own races, which I've been mentally doing for years, working on how to convert that because I knew at one point I wanted to. So my goal, because I think it's important to set myself a goal. My goal is to have the first Merged Worlds novel available. I'm going to self-publish through Amazon. Nobody's going to pay me for this shit. Publisher is going to be like, ooh, we want your manuscript. I have no illusions of grandeur here. I'm going to be writing it for the few people that are interested and maybe a few people who might discover it. But I'll be happy to know that when the time comes and I kick the bucket, it'll be up there, right? Forever. Like, it's not going to go anywhere, right? My intention has always been that when I get to that age where I know that I'm going to not be around much longer, and if my content is still making money, like YouTube if I was making even a little bit on YouTube, I'm just going to rewrite that and put that ownership into the names of a local animal charity, so even after I'm gone, any proceeds from anything I do would just go directly to an animal charity. But that's my goal, to be able to write the book so that people can, if they want, can go on Amazon and order either a physical copy or the ebook or whatever they want to do. Actually, Evie, you were already on my short list to ask to help with that, yes. Because you guys know more about it, the off story that other people don't. Actually, maybe even more than others here in the near future. So I'm looking at all the things. There's these barcode things. There's these code things you have to buy, one for every copy of the book. Cover art. I've already looked into a couple art. There's a lot of steps involved. So I'm excited about it, and I'm starting into it, but it's going to take a while. So when the time comes and it's available, I'll totally be pimping it out here. I'll probably do a stream and talk about it and post things about it and everything, do a little ad or whatever. So, but Merged Worlds, the novel, I already know what I'm going to call it. I already know the title of it and the second book. Because the intention is to write more than one, right? The goal is to write out the whole thing. Do we have a return of Shadowcast for art? Shadowcast is actually retired from art at this point. Although I know exactly what I want for the covers. And almost all the covers are going to be based off of art that Shadowcast has already made for me. Like, I know exactly how I want the covers to look. And they're definitely going to be of a like-minded design that you'd see that and be like, oh, this book is part of this Merge World series, but different enough in each one. So I know exactly how they're going to look. I know it all in my head. I've looked at some... if you ever heard of Fiverr, Fiverr, is a place you can go and you can hire people to make content or stuff for you, like the book covers. They have editors, they've got publishers, they got everything in there. They also do computer content, everything you need, comic book artists, anything you need. You swing in there and different pricing for different quality work. For example, I'm going to show you something. Hang out right here. If you've been around for a while, you've seen that, right? That's my intro. I paid a guy on Fiverr $50 years ago. He made that for me. Almost $50 or $60. He had pre-made templates of different types of designs. I provided him the ODG symbol that was made by Shadowcast. And then he made it more 3D, like popping out with the shiny on it and all the swirls. I told him what I wanted. He made it for me. I had it in like 3 days. So if you're ever looking for anything like that, wonderful place to get stuff. You're a streamer and you'd like to have something kind of cool. Very reasonably priced versus going out and trying to find people on Etsy and things. Not knocking Etsy. Etsy's a great place to get physical stuff. But this is for people who are creating art, things of this nature that you might want to use yourself as a streamer or a novelist or an artist, a comic book artist, whatever. Highly recommend Fiverr. It's free to set up an account. Or if you have art skills you'd like to sell, check out Fiverr. They're not a sponsor. I've never had a sponsor. I've had a lot of sponsor inquiries, but 99% of them are clearly cons. You know what I mean? Fake. People just trying to get information. And then there's 1% that could be cons, and I just couldn't tell. They weren't a big enough company I've ever heard of enough, and I just wasn't willing to gamble it. So I probably missed a couple real sponsoring opportunities over the years, but not many. Looking forward to reading it. Oh, excellent. I definitely will let everybody know when it happens. Can you say the title? When Worlds Collide is the name of the first novel. When Worlds Collide, a Merge Worlds novel. Is what the first one would be called. Give me an eye. I don't think that's going to be a surprise to anybody. But anyways, the novel's going to take up a lot of my time. And I would like to actively start going back to the gym and working out again. And doing all that and setting a fair amount of time into that type of work, I'm just not going to have time to do stuff on here anymore. For the 2 or 3 2-hour streams I do on the weekend, I clock probably 10 to 12 hours throughout the week prepping for the stream, whether it's building stuff or prepping resources or whatever the case may be. I put a lot of time into it. And I don't have the ability to do that stuff while I'm working anymore. My new job, I'm just too busy. Which I'm enjoying the new job, let me say. Loving the new job so far. A little bit daunting. There's been some frustrations. Not more just, getting used to things. Nothing that bad company. Great company. But I don't have time to do any of this. So what little free time I have outside of that, I'm playing Minecraft I don't want to play so I can stream Minecraft I don't want to stream. Right? So there is the big rub. So I'm going to be stepping away from the channel. I'll still pop on now and again. If you have a membership to my channel and you wish to cancel it, I promise I'm not going to be offended. I'm not expecting you to give me money when I'm not providing you new content anymore, okay? If anybody out there is like, oh God, I wonder if he'll notice if I cancel this, I'm totally fine. I expect everyone to. You're good. Not going to be offended. This goes for the moderators and such as well. think it'll affect your ability to moderate if I do happen to jump in a stream and you did want to show up. But, you know, I'm just saying, it's totally fine. I'm not heartbroken. There's only a few of you left in that program anyways. So, those of you who want to exit stage left, you're cool. I promise I won't be offended. So yeah, things like that. So anyway, so I'm going to be doing those things a lot. Because again, going back and watching, there's over 380 hours of Merge Worlds right now, and I never finished. I have to go back and re-watch all that slowly. I don't get to watch it in real time. Taking notes and, finding things that need to be changed and then converting it. So when the time comes, if you are one of the few people who decides that you'd like to actually read it and pursue getting a copy of my book, you're going to notice there's going to be changes, a fair amount, just because I can't use official Dungeons & Dragons trademarked or copywritten stuff anymore. But it's okay. I've already worked out a lot of how I'm going to move things around. So no worries there. I think you're still going to... It's not... What changes I make are not really going to take away from anything. And I may even have to tweak parts of the story because of it. So reading it will be a slightly different experience than what you've heard. There'll definitely be some changes. So some new stuff there. For those of you who might be interested in doing that. But if you're like, what the hell is a Merge Worlds? I've been running a Dungeons & Dragons campaign on and off for the last 37 years at this point. And sharing that story on stream, telling it to people. So I'm going to put it in book form. That's the big project that I want to work on. And to be honest with you, I mean, I've been streaming pretty much every weekend for 8 years. And during the week. I don't get days off anymore. I work all week and then I stream all weekend. And a lot of that free time in between is prepping for streams or work. And man, it'd just be nice to have time off. So I'm going to schedule myself a couple hours of devoted book time every weekend, but it's hard to plan things with friends or family. I don't ever get to go out on a Friday night or a Saturday night or a Sunday night, really, because I got to be home to stream, you know what I mean? It became more of a responsibility than a hobby. Or you could say it became more of a part-time job that didn't pay me really anything. Except for those situations where people were nice and donated or super chatted, which again, I appreciated all of that 100%. Nonchalant content creator occasionally. Love that. Loved your videos so much, man. Watched since mid-late Sky Factory 3. Loved all your videos and wish you so well for everything. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. You've been around a long time. How have we never spoken? I'm going to keep chatting, but I'm going to go ahead and switch over to a little bit of little bit of Minecraft here. I'm going to pull up what was the first world in Sky Factory 4 that I ever streamed. Never streamed Sky Factory 3 in the early years. I did revisit it later. But when I streamed this, my old computer was so bad that it would crash once every couple of streams, and it would sometimes take 20 minutes for Sky Factory 4 to boot back up. You know what I mean? But this was, for those of you who may have been around for a long time, one of the very first Sky Factory worlds I ever created. You'll notice there's a Achievement Hunter Tower Pimps there. I used to put that in the early worlds. Because again, that's how I found Minecraft. Big fan. Early farms. You'll notice my pattern hasn't changed a whole lot since then. This is what my old mob farms used to look like. You'll notice the design's quite different from what I use now. Basic stuff. This was the first time I ever tried to build the fusion reactor. Did not get it to work. Fission reactor. Way over there's matter overdrive. This is missing. This was a big platform where I left it dark so that mobs would spawn so I could just run around and kill them faster. And this would just pick everything up. And then I would just break the stuff so it would fall into the ground. But yeah, we'll take a look. So this was the... I took a glance through some of these today to see which some of these are. Ah, Tinkers. Good old... Look at that. Back when I actually made gear because I cared. Back on... Yeah, this was my first laser drill. Alright, so... That was Smiter. That was a weapon I actually cared about at the beginning. As you can see, I was an android then too. That was this was a Project E world, and it was the first time that I used Project E. Give you an example. This like some of my processes started here and got better over time. This was my original cookie process. I just squeezed it in where I could. And then all the cookie stuff that was made and smelted ended up going somewhere else. You can see, I mean, just from the looks of the design, boy, stuff was ugly. I definitely needed to improve my my color palette look. I wanted to make a wizard's tower. It was my thought. Did not quite turn out like that. But like I said, over here was just... Originally, there was a walkway over there before I could fly. Same as over here. What was back in here? In here... auto step. More cookie... Oh, no, this was my actual smeltery. He was a big guy. Stuff from downstairs. So let's take a look around. All right, we'll go downstairs first. So this was my automation room. This is my cakes and a bed. Boy, look at me making it fancy. I don't remember what this is. Oh, cobblestone. This is me trying to fill a cobblestone thing. This was automating more s'more double swingets, I think. No, this was my attempt to automate crystalline sulfate. I remember. Was a long time ago, Turtle. Hey, no problem, Tom. Thank you, sir. It has been a pleasure. Molten sulfur, crystalline sulfate. And we'll go downstairs, and this is where all my automations were. A lot of these builds we're going to look at are probably the same. This is, that's going to be HDPE pellets. Paula remembers this place? There you go. I made little rooms. Look how ugly this was. How hard. I don't even know what this was. Oh, check this out. So this is the original geothermal before I realized you could just slap it on top. That's what the upgradable geothermal on an infinite lava loop original design looked like. Look how ugly that is compared to the more compressed versions we have now. Hideous. Hideous, I tell you. That's just more automations of some kind. I think that's plastic. This was backup power because the other one wasn't making me enough power. This is where I grew ender seeds back when... Before I really started messing with mystical a lot. And then down here, I don't know what... I think this was meant to be an aquarium. I was going to catch fish and I couldn't get it to work. Not exactly sure why I made these, but I have squids. I have lots of squids. I do like this brick, though. What is this? Oh, that's the elevator up. Okay. So, squids. Cool. That's the bottom. We'll go on up again. Alright, so now we'll go on up. Now, doesn't this make your eyes bleed? This is hideous. This was where I automated the empowered enchanter using these things here. Books you might need, deep mob learning, more power. Again, look how much space this took back then. I used a barrel all the time. This is all the enchantment stuff. That's the first time I really started filling with those. Hey, look, we tried using ender bookshelves and couldn't figure them out. If you look, I built it the same way I did just the other day, which was wrong, and couldn't figure out how to get it to work. How funny is that? And then this is my parabox. I was so proud of how this looked back in the day, and now this is embarrassing. This is hideous. There's no stairs going up, but then I do have an elevator up. This is the top of the cookie one, I think. Oh, that's my regular smelter. And then, I don't know why I put that in the corner. Okay. So, statues, obviously. Working on achievements, right? I was looking at this. Check this out. I never got the achievement to get coal. I don't know how that happened. It must have been broken. I do like these runes, though. I do use those a lot. And then up here, I had to make... back then, I did a tutorial for how to use the parabox, but I was still new at tutorials, right? And so I was like, well, I'll make it in a world where I already have one. But how do I make it look like my regular tutorial world while I'm outside? I built... It's horrible. If you go back and watch that tutorial, I'm sure it's embarrassing. But this was... I built an inside-outside tutorial world so I could film a tutorial on the Parabox. Well, look, I even made a sun. How silly am I? Look at this. I made it try to make it look like it was floating in the air. I'm such a numbnut. Built it the exact same way I built other stuff. What is a Parabox? Oh, yeah, you're fine. So, if you play Project E, which is a variant of Sky Factory 4, a Parabox is an item that allows you to basically put a bookmark in time, right? So let's say, right now, I turned this on. It's going to put a bookmark at this very second. And if 30 minutes from now, I turn it off, the game is going to shut off, and when I come back in, I'm going to be back where I was when I put that bookmark in. Now, why would you do that? A couple reasons. While the Parabox is running, you're earning prestige points, which is part of a prestige run-through. Prestige is, again, part of the playthrough reason to do that. Parabox 2, that's correct. Hello, Shimish. And the other reason is, any item that you're carrying on your person, when you turn the Parabox off, will still be in your inventory when you turn it back on again. Was it 30 minutes? Oh, I was just using 30 minutes as an example, Beef Note. It's every 10 minutes you got a point. So every 10 minutes you earned a prestige point. So you can let it run 30 minutes and earn 3 points. You can let it run an hour if you want to. There's, of course, ways to speed that up and advance it. I have tutorials on all that if you want details. But every 10 minutes you got a point. You can turn it off whenever you want it. Yeah, I got the ultimate singularity. But if, for example, I had, let's just say, something important in my inventory that I was really important to me. Let's say some Supremium, right? Here we go. I got a stack of Supremium, right? I put it in my inventory. While after I create the bookmark, it's going to take me back in time to a time when that was still in my system. But it's going to let me bring back one as well. So now I just duplicated a stack of Supremium. If I bring 10 back, I duplicate 10 back. I'm doubling the amount of resources I have. So every time you do that, you're increasing resources. So if you have stuff that are really hard to get a hold of, that's why. And I apologize earlier when I said this is my first Project E playthrough. It is not. It was my first Prestige playthrough. That is why. I realize there's no Project E stuff anywhere. It was my first Prestige playthrough is what this was. The Parabox is needed in order to do that. But yeah, if you're like, yeah, Singularities is a great one. If you want to, as you see, I've got a couple thousand. I did not make those manually. I just duplicated. That's what this chest was. This chest was going to be stuff that I wanted to pick up. So after I turn the Parabox on, I come down here, put all this in my inventory. When I reset the game, it's all in my inventory, but it's also in this box. Things like that. Hey, John. What's up, sir? First mod pack. Hey, it was my pleasure. It's my pleasure. I appreciate everybody coming by and saying hello. Yeah, so this was the very first world I ever streamed. My, that hideous blue at the top was my tutorial world. Alright, so that's this one. Let's take a look at another world. There'll be a bunch of them here. Some of these you guys have probably seen before. I won't spend as much time in some of the more recent ones, but let's see. We'll go into, so I think this is the second one. Some of these may be out of order. I may not be showing to you, or my naming sequence was horrible back then. A lot of these I had on a portable hard drive, so I'd take them off my computer to save space, but I didn't want to get rid of them. Yeah, this is my next playthrough. So this was the second playthrough. This was just a standard playthrough. And again, as you can see, my old mob farm used to be way more intense. But yeah. I learned some stuff from my own mistakes here. Boy, it's, again, not attractive, but, you know, it is what it is. These are This is before I started using before I learned you could learn cheats on and have waypoints. This is me using the books, different portal guns and stuff. But these were the Ender book I would take with me. Auto fishing and my books. These are all the different guidebooks, animals. This is where I grew like other things like what do you call it? The seeds. Yeah, like guardians and stuff. Obviously, my smeltery, way horrible. Way horrible. So this is before I started using redstone clocks. I used automated users, which needed power. Obviously bad. Although, hello, Terry. I did also make some tutorials in this world. So again, this is the tutorial type world that you're probably familiar with seeing me use multiple times. Back when I used to use all sorts of different colored chests. What kind of day was that? And it's back when I was using portal guns. I think a tutorial might have been for portal guns. Maybe I've subscribed to you. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Hidden diamonds for you. I don't exactly know what that means, but okay. I can do that. So I'm filming some tutorials here. So I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time here just because, again, it's a lot of the same stuff, right? This is the first time I think I automated blazing pyrotheum. Yeah, it's blazing pyrotheum there. This was my next attempt at a fusion reactor, which I don't think, still never got it working. Fusion reactor was my bane, dude. But I will say, you can see here's all my tankers and my systems. I haven't seen this world in probably 5 or 6 years at this point. Android stuff, because I love the Android stuff. What's this portal go to? Oh, yeah, Astral Sorcery. Moon Juice. But I will say, this is the first time that I put all of my storage inside of a compact machine. We talked about this the other day. Is it possible to do it, right? So if you look, I've just got my 2 components here and then some input-output chests. But my actual storage system is inside of here. As is all of my other stuff. So all my hogs are in this compact machine. Automated plastic, automated obsidian, netherrack, sugarcane. This is my laser drill farm. That ended up growing into much bigger in later episodes. This is me trying to automate wither killing. That was the whole thing. Wither essence seeds. My statues. HGV. This is where I automated statues for the first time. Made that work. Fully automated statues where it's actually getting the resources from them. Chorus plants. Can't see that one. I don't know why. I want to find out why. Oh, I remember why now. This is where I was farming chorus plants. For these. I remember now. Where was I? The statues. Calcium sulfate. Also my bane. It was during this playthrough that we finally figured out how to do this. These are just different farms. This is back when I used to do farms and each level would be its own thing. I still do that on occasion. Premium, Superium, all the different essence. And then in here, all of those auto feed into these input chests, which feed into my actual storage system, which is this. Which is the same design I've used multiple times, right? Saplings on the right. These are all overflow chests. These are usually, books, potions, heads. I think there's heads. And then these would just be general storage. This is before I had junk storage and stuff. Is this playthrough on stream? Yeah, this playthrough should be. It's going to be an old one. It'll be very early, but yes. Yes, it is. And I have tutorials for all this stuff, including portal guns. But yes, it should be on stream. Somewhere. But here's the thing. The calcium sulfate, one of the hardest things I ever automated until it wasn't. I was actually building it out here. And the reason why it was hard is that there's one machine at the very end that makes 2 different fluids. And at the time that I was streaming this, you could not filter fluid extraction cables. Was this the second playthrough on stream? I think that it was. Second or third. but I believe it was. But when I was playing this series specifically, when you made a fluid extraction cable and you right-clicked on it, there were no filter spots. So every time I tried to automate it, it made two different things. The sulfate, it made, I think it was hydrochloric acid, and it made more hydrochloric acid. So when I ran out of sulfate, now the chloric acid would go through there, clog up the whole system. Literally during the playing of this series, they updated Sky Factory 4, and I updated the version, and they'd added filtering to it. Because I'd been trying a million different things to try to find a way to filter it without having a filter. And it was so hard to do. And then they fixed it by just putting a filter in there. And then also automating calcium sulfate took a bit, but was way easier after that. Yeah, that's this one. This is back when I thought all these weapons were cool, so I tried collecting them. The super slicer, portal guns. I got portal guns everywhere, man. Portal gun. I don't remember where all these go. Oh, that's for my tutorials. Where's this one go? Oh, this is where I make my compact machines. Let me in the door. So yeah, memory lane. That's what we're kind of looking at here. All right. So again, not a whole lot to show up. Overall, space-wise, I didn't take up that much space here because so much of my stuff is this is where we first started using the concept of compact machines inside compact machines, which we'd never really messed with before. We were just streaming general Sky Factory 4 stuff. I think I might even been just testing stuff one night. It wasn't even a playthrough. And we came up with the idea, what we call inception. Machine inside a machine inside a machine. How deep can you go? And we started testing it and found there was no limit. So, changed a lot. Here's an Altar of the Sea. I don't even remember what that is for, dude. I do not remember what Altar of the Sea is for. It's there. I remember getting one. I don't remember why. But I had it. Cool. Let's look at another one. Oh my goodness. Alright, let's see what we got here. That was YouTube Take 2. I pulled this one up today. I do not remember this playthrough. I don't remember this playthrough at all. I don't even know if this is a playthrough. It says YouTube Take 2. Makes me think it's YouTube. But I don't remember it. The only thing I remember is I remember the game crashing, and I remember that when I loaded in, this chunk had been erased, and there was just a space here, my smeltery and everything was all gone. I do remember that now, so I guess I did stream it, because I had to rebuild that. But yeah, this is, again, same old, same old. Glad to see I upgraded to redstone. Man, stuff's still running, huh? How's this? Oh, I still got amber. Look at that. That amber's been sitting in that chest for probably 6 years. I don't even know what I was doing with this. Why do I have a cable coming out of here going to two places? Why is there a manufacturer doing that? I don't know why any of this exists. I can't figure it out. What in the world was I doing here? Everything's empty. I don't understand. Hello, Mysterions. Good day. There's a whole bunch of machines all crammed together, but I don't know what I was doing with it. Oh, PRC, you devil. That was for substrate. I'm sure that was just me filling up more gas. Melter. Geothermal. There we go. It's starting to take the right shape now. We're going to be just piping stuff over manually like a heathen. What's in there? Oh, just empty chest. Okay. This singularity maker, maybe? I'm not sure. So yes. So we have that. Up here was my Mistcraft. And just some of the heads I collected. Doesn't look like oh no, there's the Twilight Force. So I guess I did. And down there we got water. Oh, we got some more stuff down here. Ooh, what a jumble. Look at this. This is me, again, trying to fill the... This is me trying to fill a black hole with gravel. I don't even, how would I get to it to see if it was working? How do I know if it was done? Statues, we got magnesium. It's all sorts of, I don't even know what's in that one. Boron, lithium, Endar, HDPE pellets. Something was there. I don't know what was there, but I must have taken it somewhere else. Statues. Ugly stuff. What is this? Why do I have a chemical reactor here? It's probably calcium sulfate. Damn you, calcium sulfate. Well, the opening in the floor just led up to another cobblestone generator. That's just another cobblestone generator, tier 5. So I'd have to break it, I guess. Maybe that's how I plan on doing it. There's my matter overdrive reactor over there. There's fission reactor. Well, look, another non-working fusion reactor. Still couldn't get it to work. So many attempts. And it all came down to the same thing. I didn't have enough power. And the fission reactor in geothermal is just not enough power to get this where it needs to be. I also have way too many coolant blocks on here. Oh, I used water, that's why. But still, I wonder what my fission reactor looks like inside. How advanced did I get with it? Oh, I filled this one up more than I normally do. Interesting. Cool. So yeah, so there's that. Again, so I convert over to what is now a more common looking mob farm for me. Then I realized the height was just not needed. So you'll notice now it's just high enough to let them fall on the spikes. I don't go up high anymore. The height doesn't matter. Does slab thing still work? Well, still does. Still red. So you can, slabs still blocked light at that point. Yeah, so that was another playthrough, obviously, regular farm. This is back when I used to use way too many sprinklers. Now I do 4 and 3 and 4 more commonly. Horses, piggies, that kind of stuff. No, that was still a couple playthroughs away, Terry. I can tell you, I didn't actually successfully get that achievement until we got to, I want to say the first time I successfully did it was Skygrid, which was just like 3 playthroughs ago. Let's take a look at the next one, shall we? And let me know if I'm boring you guys with this, if you guys aren't enjoying this look through old streams. Let's see. So there was those. I'm going to pull this one up. It's very quick. I did a Halloween stream in creative one year on Halloween. I don't remember when, and I don't remember doing this, but I'd saved it, so obviously I did it. But this is just a little circus we made for Halloween. Obviously, if you've seen some of my playthroughs, I use this later because I love these mutated animals. I love the failed pigs and the failed chickens, failed cows, and the failed sheep. If you've never seen these animals before, let me know. Listen to the sounds, the pain these mutated animals are in. I remember when we discovered these things. Love it. Love it. Oh, the sounds are horrible. And then this was just my big top thing. We made a big top tent, which I guess I'd never done before. But yeah. And we did this in creative because there's my starter tree over there and nothing else. There's no way I could have done this in normal. Kill me! Never they would scare you. You can only get them in creative. You can't get them they exist in creative, but that's the only way I've never found another way to get them. Pull back out of this. Alright, so those are some of, like I said, the early ones that I pulled out. Most of these other ones you guys have seen. But we'll pull a few out. That's obviously the one we were just doing. Some of these are going to be out of order, I'm sure. Let's see. Here we go again. That one. Yeah, I love the failed animals. I've made that circus again in a later world we'll look at in a minute. I'm trying to do this in order, and there were a few that got lost, that got corrupted and I couldn't do. This was one of our better playthroughs of Sky Factory 4. This is probably one of my favorite playthroughs we ever did. This is one of the only ones I ever used sync, so I figured out how to make clones of myself. Smeltery, and the design I kind of used was this up and down stairs thing, like raised and lowered then raised. And as you can see, we got my regular mob farm over there. Up here was miscellaneous machines. This was I think this might have been my first Project E playthrough. I believe you're correct. Let's see. Then up here, yes, that's so dedicated to different things, right? Mistcraft, Android, fishing, cakes, so on and so forth. This is another one where, like I said, the Project E. It's right up here. It's the first time I ever messed with that. This is another compact section. All of my storage and stuff. Same idea as last time. Same design for storage because it worked. Like, you know, not broke, don't fix it. Originally, my storage was in this room, and then I moved it inside of there. Throw those in there. Ultimate Singularity. Again, running off of good old-fashioned upgradable geopower. You know we love it. I don't think there's a down from this one. There's not. But I should have. Whoop. This, I think, the furthest at this point I'd ever gone in Astral was here. Astral, pretty mod. Let's see. So we have that, and then I made the maze. So I love making mazes in Minecraft. It's something I enjoy doing quite a lot. Mazes for let people go through them and stuff. It's got a glass roof on it, so that way I can look at people in there and they can't get out. You know what I mean? But I enjoy making mazes. And I also made a racetrack because I want to see how fast I could run. So I loaded myself up with speed charms, and this is made out of black concrete, so you go faster on concrete. Just made myself a little race. Let's see, we got Wither Farm. Back when I still thought that was important. Automatic wither farming at first was important to me, and then I realized deep mob learning negates it. Right. Why do I have water here? Squids. So I got squids early game. Project E. That's where my first. I built that up there to film a thumbnail. We'll look at that in a minute. Oh, so I filmed this over the end of 20 into 2021. We'll talk about that in a minute. There's my boat. Made a boat. This is the design I used for boats back in the day. Captain's quarters, additional quarters. I didn't put a steering wheel on this one for some reason, but okay. Burp. And then downstairs, cannons, fully functional. Fully functional with fire charges in them. And then downstairs, I was going to put beds. I don't think I ever got to that. But I made a boat. So that was my ship. And then I made a food court. I'd never done that before. Because I was making a whole bunch of foods. This is, I think, one of the first time I really started messing with the foods. So I was making all the different foods. Kind of like I did in other playthroughs. So this is the Americana burgers and stuff. I think there should be some in one of these containers. Oh, maybe not. Oh, there they are. Burgers, fries, and fried chicken. And then this was a hippie store. This is like salads and stuff. I think, where are they at? There they are. Salads. Hippie food. This is my Italian-Mexican fusion. One side's Italian, one side's Mexican. Why are there truffles in here? I don't know why that is. But. And then ice creams and desserts, right? I made trash cans out of a cauldron and a trash can. Functioning trash cans. If you don't want clean off your plate, you lazy bastards. And then different crops. And this was making one of every mystical seed. I want to say somebody asked me to do that. I didn't auto-farm it because I wasn't farming it for resources. If I remember correctly, in this playthrough, I wasn't allowed to use mystical. I think that was one of the challenges of this playthrough. I built a barn for my farm. So here's this little farm. Got some hay up in there. And then I made a spooky forest. See? It's like it's not per se a maze because there's only one path. And obviously I could just fly out of here, but... where are my friends? They may have despawned. Yeah, they despawned. I had monsters in here. But it seems that they have despawned. And first time I ever used syringes to stun things so they couldn't leave. So I hand-built the forest, obviously. This is not natural forest. To make it look this way. They made a little danger cursed treasure. I had a witch here in front of this. It was supposed to be like a bloody cauldron. Because there's treasure chest, right? You want to get that treasure chest. But, oh, fake! That's how you get in the maze. It was meant to be a trap. And then you got to get to the other end of the maze to get out. Because if you try to go out here, you just fall back in. Obviously not me, because I can fly. But that's where I used sneaky false blocks to make a booby trap. But during this series, the one fun thing that happened is that, excuse me, we had holidays happen. Because this one took a while. I think I played this, God, probably 3 or 4 months this playthrough. So I said, one of the more fun ones we did. But I built this. It's one of the first times I got really wasted on stream, too. But I got this, and it was like, it said Happy New Year, and then it had TNT behind it. And this is all blast-proof inside. And then I made myself a little throne with my walruses. These are my walruses. These are snacks for my walruses. You can see they have fish here. And for me, I made me a bunch of food. And we sat here, and we counted down New Year's. And when New Year's happened, I used the remote to hit a button, which triggered the explosion and blew up the Happy New Year and left the unbreakable Hello 2021 behind it. So it's a cool little effect. You want to go back and watch that. And then, more walruses. As part of that, the remotes, also triggered fireworks. So when that went off, there was fireworks going off, and this exploded, and it looked really, really cool. Oh man, look at this. Something destroyed that. Something glitched there. Kind of explains why there's maybe some weird things growing. But yes, so this was a very, very fun playthrough. Now, that said, one of the biggest calamities I ever had happen on a stream was during this playthrough. And that was in the Lost Cities. Because that turned out so well. The game might crash, I'm going to warn you. That turned out so well that I thought I should do that again. Now, we were using the Project E explosives. We were testing them here. As you can see, they blow up real well. Real well. But what I had done is for Valentine's Day, I had gone into, it was either this one or this one. I think it was this one. I don't think it's in here. I had to, so yeah. So what I had done is I had built a giant sign that said Happy Valentine's Day that went underground from like left to right. Huge, massive sign. And then I surrounded it all with that heavy, heavy explosive. You can see down here is where I was working on it. See the big spaces here? You're not going to see the sign here, though. I'll tell you why. Because when when Valentine's happened, I had run TNT, lines of it, all throughout the building and all throughout all sorts of stuff in here. right? I was all you, but you couldn't see it from the front. So anybody watching it with me, so I had a little throne set up over here. And if you're sitting on the throne and we're looking at it, you didn't see anything. But if you came behind it, it was just TNT lines of it stacked behind the building. So my goal was to blow up the whole dome and just leave the sign. Wow, this thing sucks. Get here. Let me through. When I did that, though, the explosion was so big that it crashed the server. Crashed the game completely. And I couldn't get back into it. I had to pull from a backup and lost all that. Because you couldn't even load into the lost cities. Everything was still trying to explode. And so we lost the happy. Nobody ever got to see. I probably put like 20 hours work into making that big thing off camera. And then nobody ever got to see it. It's just the way it works. Not all plans work out. You know what I mean? This one turned out smashingly, though. And everybody watched me build this one. We built this one kind of together. So, but this was a fun playthrough. I remember this one. I liked it a lot. Like I said, this is also where I did a lot of Astral. Okay, cool. So that's this one. Again, I apologize if I'm boring people. I can see that people are leaving now. I appreciate everybody coming by. We'll jaunt through memory lane. Let's see. I'm only going to do a couple more. We'll jump right to the challenges world. So you guys have seen this one. I'm not going to spend a lot of time here because I did a tour of it recently, but I'm just going to pop in so you can see the overall world. This was the first challenges series that I did. This one was also a lot of fun. Probably one of my other favorite ones we ever did. Why am I in a reactor? Yeah. So yeah, this is the one where the community gave me. This is when I started streaming on Twitch again. I went back to trying to stream on Twitch, and I made the Twitch Auditorium, the Twitch Arena, if you will. Which that was a nice little build. That turned out really well. I liked it. Christmas Land is inside the Santa hat. Halloween Land is inside the Halloween hat. My head collection is inside my head. There's my Mr. Midnight, my kitty who passed away soon after this. My Mr. Midnight. I love that little boy, but he unfortunately passed away soon after that. This was the closest at this point I came to getting a fusion reactor. Can't remember if this is the one where it worked or not. No. Came close. We got it started, but then it stopped and we couldn't get going. That's a roller coaster, by the way. You can ride. That's a tour through the whole place. I am thinking about opening up a shared folder and making it available for anybody who might want to download these things. I got to figure out how that works. It won't be right away, but for those people interested. And then this is just my house. I built a whole bunch of different cool rooms in it. It's full of cats because, I love my kitties. And this is when I had, this is Buffy's room. That was Mr. Midnight's room. And that was Little Patch's room. I can't believe how old these kitties are to begin with. We got these kitties in 2020. And this is where I made the other circus again. It's where the roller coaster started. Games. And then this time I put all the horrible animals inside of what was supposed to look like carts. Ah, the sounds. Ah, gurgles. But yeah. Yeah, it's all good. So then I was challenged to build my house inside a castle. Oh, there's a Tower Pimps again. So this was inside a castle. All my stuff was here. So when I first started using the clipboard, I discovered the joy of the clipboard. Again, I'm not going to show all the stuff. We've shown it recently. But I will say that I built in this one is my altar to Darkosto. The altar to Darkosto. Forgot I have an Ankh up on the wall over there. and offerings of treats to Darkosto, the creator of Sky Factory 4. I would come here to sit, kneel, and pray. I'm a weirdo. Leave me alone. I do like that cut of lava and water block. So this one was what we called the JEI project. How long will this stream be? Not super long, I don't think. I mean, just till I feel like stopping. I don't really have a scheduled end time. Is this the project? Is this the JEI project? I think this is the JEI project. Let's take a look at that. The JEI project. So the JEI project was me deciding I wanted to make one of every single thing in the JEI and display it. Put a lot of time on that. The problem we ran into, some things you can't make, like all the different enchanting books. These things with signs or books I never got a hold of. But, and then some things were just, even though they're in the JEI, there's no recipe for them. Turns out, it was very tedious. But, I worked on it for a long time. I never finished it. But as you can see, I got quite a bit done. And each one of these is a page of the JEI, by the way. Page 20, for example. That's how I keep track of things. Some things couldn't go on the pedestal, so I'd have to put a frame there instead. But I got almost halfway done. I never did finish building the rest of them, but yeah. The JEI project. Got a lot of it done, though. The potions was the tedious part. God, I hated making the potions. Potions were horrible. Did not like that at all. I thought this is the one where I built houses. Did I not? Where would that have been? Hunting. That was the hunting dimension we were just in. There was one that I built a house in the hunting dimension. I thought it was this playthrough. Guess not. Whoop, leg. Close that door. I wasn't raising the barn. Wouldn't have been in the Lost Cities. Oh, I know where that one is. That's not this playthrough. It's the next one. But anyways, that was this playthrough. I made a big Draven statue. And yes, even though I said it was purely accidental, I 100% made the roller coaster come out my big old peener. That's just how I roll. Everybody's going to have to live with that. This is where I made a little thing. You can come up here and stand in space. And what the hell is that down there? I'm going to look at that in a second. So yes, so you can see my statues. What is that? That is a horse on a balloon. I do not know why there is a horse on a balloon, but that's awesome. That's good stuff right there. I do not know why there's a horse on a balloon. Love it. Love it to death. Tickle my. Could I pick it up? I thought about it, but then I was afraid if I did, it would fall, and I didn't want to run the risk of then he would just fall into the void and die because they don't loop like we do, right? Let's see. After that one, we did Skygrid. Skygrid is another Sky Factory 4 starting world type, but very different than the regular ones. It'll pop in a second. There we go. So Skygrid is a world that you literally start in and is a massive grid. Very interesting play type. Very challenging in the beginning. All the regular stuff, farms. I don't specifically remember why these are over here, but you know, mob farm, and then all the stuffs, Android section, smelteries. I'm in the clouds, obviously. You can see the cloud coming across here. All my different machines. Can I go up? I can. Inside of here is where all my storage is. Go up again. That's where all my auto crafting is. Now, we go down. Different automations and machines. Down again goes way down, and this is where I have my deep mob learning. This is my first induction storage I ever used. And these are all my early game power sources. But this one, this playthrough was special because A, it was the first time I built a mechanism fusion reactor. And boy, is it still my favorite reactor in the game. A big reactor. And I'm not counting bigger reactors. Bigger reactors are great, but they're limited. The amount of power this thing puts out is phenomenal. I'm eating a chocolate. So, these were the key. The key to making everything work. I have two of them. Because this is the first time that I have a working fusion reactor. This is the first time that I got the achievement for making this monstrosity. And it's working. It does make a lot of power when you finally get it going. But the key was you need enough power to get it started. And up until this point, I tried using cyclic batteries and such. You have to pretty much use flux if you're going to make it work. Also, instead of using all the water coolers, I went up to liquid diamond, which again, world of difference. All that's automated down here. All the fuel for my reactors and my coolants and everything, those, you can't see them in here, but they're all in here. And the other key is there's specifically a couple of fuels. When you go in here and you look at this thing, and you look at, there's a whole bunch of different fuels you can make, and the different fuel combos will make more power than others. That's what the left is. These are the different fuel combinations you can make. These are the byproducts that they make, the waste that they make, and how much power they make. 100 per tick, 150 per tick. So the key was finding one. There's only of the top. I didn't make the very top one. I think I made the second from the top one. And to do that, I needed liquid hydrogen and helium -3. But the only way to get helium -3 is as a waste product from one of these fusion reactors. So I learned I had to make a small one first to get the helium -3, and then it gets sent over into this thing along with the other fuel, which is the liquid hydrogen, which in itself is not as hard to make. So finding the right combination of coolers, the right amount of fuels, and having enough power to kickstart it, which is what the mechanism reactors finally provided me. You'll notice there's no fission reactor. I did not even build one this time. So, to make the big one, have to have a small one. It doesn't even have to be this big, I don't think. You can probably make it even smaller. It's just got to be making that side product. But SkyGrid was a fun playthrough as well. Okay. I'm trying to skip through these a little bit quicker now. I know it's going on a while and probably boring the hell out of people. I think I got 2 more. Yes. 4, 6, 25, 8. Okay, we're going to look at this one. Don't worry about FBG. That's Facebook Gaming. I used to make some stuff and post them on Facebook, but they have different size formats. So that's just a tutorial-based world, one of my regular ones, but slightly different shaped. You missed so much. Well, if you like my content, it's all available pretty much. You can still go back and see it. Why can I not fly? I have glitch armor on. I should be able to fly. Draven will not be defeated. So in this one, everybody wanted me to build my house inside of the Lost Cities. So I found a dome, cleaned it out, and built my house. Those are my piggies, some basic machines, compact machines, automated fishing over here. Here's where I made my poop, for my fertilizer. This is my wheat field, these are all my hogs, hogging it up inside of the barn. That's pretty cool. But this is, then we go downstairs to where the actual base is, and then we have my base. So here we have, this one was a fun one. This one had a lot of fun building to it. This was also a Project E-World. This is where we learned you could put a diamond on the chest, and then you could break the chest, and everything doesn't fall out of it. It stays inside. Clipboard, obviously. So I got more storage up top. Currently watching my All the Mods 8. All the Mods 8 was a fun playthrough. And here we have different automations, different types of things going on. This is where I tried to figure out open computers and never really figured it out because I just don't care about programming in any way whatsoever. Statue room. I kind of like the way this room looks. I can remember that design. This is my coolants for the fusion reactor because we did it again. And let's see. Infinite lava loop and it's not generating much power. Are you using an upgradable geothermal? Because there's a geothermal generator and then there's another level up to that. You use it to make the upgradable geothermal. Once you make the upgradable geothermal, you can put 4 stacks of speed modifiers in it. Takes black concrete, sand and gravel, gold, redstone. Nothing super crazy. But it's the modifiers that make it go faster. So you want to make sure you've got an upgradable and 4 stacks of speed modifiers in it. They're not called speed upgrades for that mod. It's speed mod. 4 stacks. You can put up to 4 stacks. You put in less than that, but the more you put in, the faster it'll go. 4 items. No, you can put 4 items in there, but that won't help as much. You can put in up to 4 stacks of 64. A lot of times I'll just put in 1 stack if it's just running certain machines, like a section of things. But if it's your main power source, put as many in as you have the materials to make. Here's where we upgraded our more s'more double smingets. Chocolate and graham crackers. Here's my farm. Here's where my cocoa beans are growing. Over here is where I'm auto milking the cow. This is another thing where I made it look like a little farm inside. It's supposed to be the sky. I'm a weirdo like that. It's all about aesthetics. But that was for more s'more double smingets. This is my Android room. It's where Android things happened. We have 4 lava loops. Yeah, then you fill those up. You're in good shape. This is my dance party room. Get you. Sorry. This is my club. Oh, the door's closed right before I walk through. Obviously my cakes. Smeltery is over here. I didn't use a big lava drill system that time. I just had a little one. In this playthrough, over here is where all my melter and stuff is for my tinkerty-tink. Yeah, it's all the basics. Auto crafting's in here. This is where we first started using junk storage. This is where we discovered junk storage. Good stuff. Love junk storage. Highly recommend it. More automations. I don't remember what this one makes. Liquid ethylene. That's going to be HDPE pellets. Then we'll go downstairs some more. Truman type shows. That's very accurate. So this is a farm. I have it currently turned off, but this is where I was using some mystical stuff. Power source for that. Let's see what we got over here. This is the murder room. This is where cows are being slaughtered non-stop. But it's doing that because that's where I'm getting my pink slime. And my liquid meat are coming from one mob slaughter factory. So that's what their purpose is. Are these full? Why are these not pumping? I don't know. But there's that. That's the cow murder room. 4 max out cobble generators, so 1 cobble per tick, and it feeds all of them just fine. Maybe with 4 stacks each, then probably. Yeah, well, no, it should. As long as you've got the tier 5 cobblestone, that's what I'm running here. So, oh, look at one. That is not where I meant to be. Wrong room. Same thing. So a tier 5, upgradable with 4 stacks, will keep it. That'll fill it just fine. Because that's 1 like stack per tick. A tier 5 is 1 stack per tick, not 1 cobblestone per tick. Like, let me click on. Maybe it's a little less than that, but it's a lot. I've never had a problem where this has not been able to keep up with that. I have cobblestone now. Okay. Downstairs we go. All right, so here's my fission reactor. Here's where we tried making a molten salt reactor, and I don't think we ever got that working. I'm almost positive. This is my maximum size induction matrix, and it looks like it's empty. It is not. There's a ton of energy in there. It just holds way, way more. Then again, we have 2 reactors with farms for the fuel for each one of them. And then this one is a passively cooled, which means it doesn't have any specific cooling. And this one has got steam in it, so turbines, which I don't have on currently, but it's the first time I ever messed with the boiler and the turbine. And I think I had problems with it, but we did perfect it, if you will, in the All the Mods 8 playthrough. So, but that's the main base for this one. I'm just going to take the elevator. Why am I walking around? But I did do a little bit of fun building. Halloween Town, because we had a Halloween during this series. So I made a lake. We have a pumpkin farm. Again, you guys know I love mazes, but in the middle of the banquet, a banquet of food. Who doesn't want that? Beer and desserts. I tried to make it Halloween. We got beer. I got chocolate. I got like the pumpkins, I think. What else I got? Caramel apples, grilled cheese sandwiches, and pizzas. That's the ultimate feast. Then I made a little town for trick-or-treating. I forgot the plastic roads. Boy, do those make you run fast. This is the first time I used a garage door. But each house is a little different in its design. But I made little houses for trick. Stuck! I do love them mazes. You are correct. Hey, Puller. Sad to see you go. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Bittersweet. I was a little sad about it because I felt like I was letting everybody else down, but I feel it's for the best. So this is a blood channel. So it's like a slab that you can put on the wall or on the ground, and you can point which direction it flows. I love it. So the blood is flowing down. You can also have it flowing up. It looks very, very cool. Secret doorway. This is where the master sleeps. One day he will awaken. And then you're going to get it. So yeah. So as you can see, the blood flowing from... It's meant to look like it's flowing from upstairs, but it's really just blood channels running down the master's chamber. And then I made... What did I do that for? Then I made a big old house. Some stuffs. Some rooms, I decorated some rooms, but I didn't get to all of them. Oh, that's when we learned you could make the dragon's mouth move by putting, I think it's a redstone clock behind it. Your head's on a table. It's very cool. And let's see, what have I got upstairs? Where's the stairs up? I know I have stairs here, so there they are. This is a spooky bedroom, Halloween themed, orange. Spooky library, important business. This just overlooks the rest of the world and rooms I didn't do anything with. But I did do this. See that? There's an invisible frame there. Invisible frames are great because you can put stuff on the ground. Where did my... Oh, crap. I'm in creative. I forgot I'm in creative. There's a secret door here that leads to an underground dungeon. I'm just going to open it. See it? Whoop. That was me ruining it, but the secret door would open if you use that thing, and then it takes you into the dungeon, but I can't do that because I'm in creative because for some reason it wouldn't let me fly. See? My torture dungeon. Cool. Let me out. Why you don't let me out of the house? There we go. So there's my matter overdrive reactor. It's about ready to pop. And over here, my fusion reactors. Again, we did those. But overall, a mostly fun playthrough. Now, there's one last thing to show here. And that was Draven's house. Doing all the statues takes a long time. It does take a long time. So let's take a look. Where's my cakes? Here they are. This is where I built Draven's house. I was very happy with my house. Overworld, Twilight. Where's the hunting dimension? Is this not the one where my house is? Am I thinking the wrong cake? Or the wrong playthrough? Huh. There's a cake, but this is not the one. Interesting. Hang on. We're going to go back to the overworld. This is where my parabox was, because again, this is a Project E Prestige playthrough. I thought this is the one where my house was. Which playthrough was that in? Huh. I have no idea. Could have sworn it was here. Very confused. 2M here. Alright, Michael, thanks for coming by, boss. Appreciate you spending a little time with your old pal Draven as he bids a fond adieu to the world. I guess, I don't know what happened. Remember the world I built with the gym in the basement and all the other secret rooms? I don't know where the hell that was. I don't remember which playthrough that was. I built a whole house in the mining dimension. Or in the hunting dimension. I don't know which one it is. Let's see. That was Prestige Run. Sky Grids we've looked at. Challenges. Here we go again. We did those. That's the one I'm in right now. And then there's this one. That's the last one. I don't know where that entire world went. I could have sworn it was in the Challenges world. May have to go back and look at the first Challenges world again, because I may have been looking in the wrong spot. Any minute now. Come on. So this was Lava Factory. So in this one, it's another Sky Factory world type, where you start inside a world full of lava. I put rock out there, but it's it was all lava out there. So basically, you had to find a way to expand outside of the lava. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. So, too fast. See, the world was lava, and you had to learn how to expand out into it. A very fun play type. Pretty challenging. Use the evaporation ones will save your life. But this is where the first time where I fully automated Amber. See all the different ambers? So they're all auto craftable. They're all being auto crafted over here and sent into the appropriate chest. And then if I flip one of these switches, it'll then send that amber into this compact machine where I have a super whatever it is. So this is where that would pour out. Android section. This will be a short one. Disgusting AE. Auto fishing. All my compact machines. That's my induction matrix. Geothermal power, which is what I started with. Sugarcane, obviously. Netherrack, the same stuff we always see. The same thing for the... Right? That's cookies. You've all seen that already. This is my fusion reactor. This one I made see-through. Again, small one than a large one. Also worked. And a fission reactor. And this guy. So, you know. You'll see the same basic idea. So you can build your fusion reactors see-through, which looks pretty cool. But the exact same thing. So now I've made the reactor like 3 times now. So I know I can do it. What do I have in here? Oh yes, my moon juice room. This is what I was going to build again in the new one, just because I love the way I love this look. I came up with this design on one of the community servers because I just love the way this looks. I always wanted to do. I made it as just a ceiling in that one, but then I expanded it to other build throughs. So I just love the way this looks. And again, probably my favorite looking thing I've ever done. It's not even that complicated, but I like the way it looks. So, anyways, that's the moon juice room. Let's see. Alright, so that's pretty much it for the lava factory. Unless the hunting dimension is in this one. I don't think it is, though. It is not. Bear with me a moment. I gotta go find that. I only set auto crafters for things I usually need. I'm right there with you. I only did it that time because somebody wanted me to see if I could do it. But I agree with you 100%. No, it's not the current one. It's a whole big house, and it's where I had my museum of Twilight Forest bosses. Does anybody remember that? I don't remember. I could have sworn it was in one of these worlds. But you had to use an android teleport to get there, I thought. Well, definitely not in the nether. Uh-oh. Oh, there's my cake over there. I was wondering where my cake went for a second. Ah! Missed it. My bad. Wasn't in the nether. Try not to build in the nether. The nether's lag is rough. Let's see. Where does this one take me? Cat house. It's not the cat house. It's not here. It was in the hunting dimension. That's what I'm saying. I can't find... This hunting dimension is the JEI project. Although I could have sworn it was in this one. But this one's the JEI project, so it couldn't have been this playthrough. I just don't remember another playthrough. Alright, I think I might know where it is. Was it the one right before this? No, this was a long time ago. This was several years ago. I think it was this one. Got a little catch your farewell stream. Just want to say thank you for all the memories. Amazing human. Oh, well, thank you, Tyler. I appreciate that. I appreciate you swinging by. Pleasure to have you. Matter Overdrive next week, but I don't know where to start. Matter Overdrive. So for Matter Overdrive, first you need power. Power. Because power is going to become your food. Then you need to turn into an android. So, let's see. I'll give you a quick idea here. Matter Overdrive. So here's what you need. You need to build an android station. And you need to build a charging station. These are important. In the charging station, you want to put 2 range upgrades. I think it'll let you only put 2 in it. It'll let you put more, but I think it's only 2 is all you need. And then as long as this is being provide power, it will charge you because you're going to be using a battery for your power instead of eating food. Then you need to make a pill. The red pill is what's going to turn you into an android. You don't need the other 2 pills. They're not important. The blue one makes you back into a human. Why would you do that? And the other one resets your android abilities, but eventually you'll have them all. I have this mad scientist guy. I think you can get a red pill from him, but to be honest, they're super easy to make. You don't need to. I've never used him because you could just make the red pill very easily. All you need is a combiner, 1 lithium, a carrot, and a redstone. That's it. That's all you need. Super easy to do. All right, let's see if this is the one with the hunting dimension. It is! We finally found it! Yay! This is what I was looking for. My headroom. Here's where I had all the stuff from the Project E, but then it phased out for some reason. I had stuff all over these walls too. Didn't I have a secret room? Alright, so here, let's go take a look at this. This is cool. Hopefully you guys will like this because I like the way this looks. Teleporter. I wasn't standing on it. There we go. Yay, it's my house. This is part of my house. So I'm going to show you my house first. I got an up and a down in each floor. See it? An up and a down, an up and a down. We'll start with it. We'll start here. We'll start on this side. So this is the first room. We go up, and this is my library. Am I creative on this one? I'm not good. This is my library. But is it just a library? No, it is not. Because Raven loves... Oh, I put it on the table like an idiot. Secret rooms! This is a remote lever. Lets you control a lever remotely. I love it. My laboratory! With my syringes and my tools of pain and suffering and magical books. All my machines, my synth. I did have villagers in there, but they despawned. Spiders. Books of magicness. But yes. This is the lightning. Where you make my Frankenstein monsters kind of thing. Purely decorative, this place, by the way. So there's that. And then we go down. We have my forge. Filthy sex dungeon. That is accurate. So this is my forge. Fire extinguisher. Safety first. You know, this again was purely made at the end of this playthrough for aesthetics. This was not meant to be functional, but it was meant to be a forge where I worked on stuff, ore and things. You know, just for looks. Just for looks. And then up here we have my game room. This is where I go bowling. I like to bowl. My bowling balls. That's where I play pool. Boy, did it take forever to chisel this damn thing out. I hate chisel. Arcade games. Claw game. This is DDR, where I play Dance Dance Revolution. Like I would ever play Dance Dance. This is a hologram chess, and this is where I stream from. It's my green screen, and this is where I stream. This is where you guys are watching me from this very second. You don't know this? I'm sitting in this chair right now. Alright, so there's that one. And then this is an up. This is just a little park. Little garden. I did have little critter animals in here, but they despawned. And then down here... Oh yeah, this is my gym. This is where I work out. This is where I get all swole, if you will. I got the punching things and the boxing things. Got some boxing gloves. So I work out and treadmill while watching my shows. Have a sauna, you know, in case I want to get in here and steam off after a nice workout. Porcelain can look nice. So there's my boxing ring. I don't have a bell. I do. I don't remember what's in here. Oh, this is the changing room. Yes, this is where I poop. Don't look at where I poop, you sick bastards. This is for pooping. Some sinks, in case you got to wash your hands. And then lockers, in case you're going to need to put your clothes down. And then, in case I really just want to cool off, I have an Olympic-sized swimming pool. I want to go swimming. Swim across. Yeah, they always got them stripes in them. You know what I'm talking about? So it's got stripes. Diving board. Onlydraven jump. Hee splash. Good times. Justin Hart says, Draven, thank you for everything. I've watched so many of your tutorials. I still like 4 of the best. I'm right there with you, boss. I also like 4 of the best. Yeah, this is my gym. I like the gym. I remember I was pretty intoxicated when we built this gym. I remember that. Then this is my kitchen. I always like to make a kitchen. This is where I make my drinks. This is food, is bread and stuff, right? Got fruits and veggies on the counter. Double kitchen, in case I want to cook things or have a cooking show, maybe. My trash can design that I like. Tools. This is supposed to be cooking utensils. There's only so many cooking utensils. So yes, there's that. And then there is this. This is my personal bedroom. I don't normally invite people up here. This is my closet. Right? My closet, my bedroom, very fancy. This is my own personal bathroom. This is where I personally poop, but I like to read when I'm in pooping. So I have some books here for reading. And this is my bathtub. Hot water, cold water, and a sink. Okay, so Draven wants to be nice and clean before a stream, but I poop right there. It's important to know where I poop. That Terry answers the question correctly. I'm in the hunting dimension. This was my armory. So inside of this, I've got Shrinky Dink, I do. Then in here was meant to be my armory, where I would put a bunch of weapons. Some of them despawned, but I had weapon and armor in here. Those are the only things that stayed. But, yeah. That's my closet. That's where I get dressed. And in here, sitting in this chest, is a normal compact machine. But for some reason, when you look inside, it looks like a black box. Why could that be? Because this is the only one I remember where I put it. I hid it in that drawer. I've never shown this on stream before. Draven's Filthy Sex Dungeon. So I build one of these and hide it in every world, but I've forgotten where I put most of them at this point. But this is Draven's Filthy Sex Dungeon. This is what Turtle was asking about earlier. Right? A sheep. A lead, a carrot on a stick. Arrow of Butterfingers. I don't even know what the fuck that was doing in here. Just a chair. But Draven's Filthy Sex Dungeon. Let me tell you what happened with this. So, many years ago, before I ever played Minecraft or streamed on Twitch or anything, I was playing just a little bit of vanilla Minecraft, and I was brand new at it. And a friend set up a server for him and I and some of our other friends that we worked with. And he put in mods that he thought would be fun and put in a whole bunch of them. It's the first time I ever messed with mods. It was his own custom mod pack. He just put stuff in. Not everything worked, but it was a ton of fun. And one of the people playing was Shadowcast. It's very early on. And it was always... Draven's Filthy Sex Dungeon had always been around because we worked together. Shadowcast used to work for me back then when I worked at ADT Security on third shift. I was a team lead, and she was on my team. It was always the running gag that if she wasn't careful, she'd wake up in my filthy sex dungeon. It was nowadays I could probably never get away with saying something like that. But she had made the reference once. She goes, one day I'm always afraid one day I'm going to wake up in your filthy sex dungeon. And she was joking, obviously. She's married, I'm married, we're just friends. But it was a joke. So I had built one of these in that world, and I built a whole bunch of stuff when, like, on a weekend when nobody else was playing. And everybody came in, and I built this big castle and house, and everybody wanted to see what I built. And I built underground railways. I put a lot of time into my section of the world that no one had seen this stuff. And I was giving a tour to everybody. And we walked by a door, and somebody said, "What's this door?" I'm like, "Oh, there's nothing in there. Don't worry about that one." And I closed it and walked by. And everybody's like, "Well, what's in it?" I'm like, "Nothing. Don't worry about that." Hey, come over here. We'll look at it. And I tried to make it look like I was on purpose trying to get them to go in the room by acting like I didn't want them to go in the room. And they all went in there, and that's when they found the filthy sex dungeon. And the running gag in it, because she was in the group and she laughed her ass off that she would wake up in my filthy sex dungeon, there's always a sheep named Mary because that's her name. That was a running gag when I worked it between our group of friends. He's like, "One of these days I'm going to wake up inside your filthy sex dungeon." So ever since then, I've had a filthy sex dungeon with a pink sheep named Mary in it. And that was long before I ever did anything else. Before I ever had a channel or anything. I never even had the concept of it. That was just some friends and us playing. So this one, I always have some chains there. Why? Don't ask. But yeah, I always have a little filthy sex dungeon hidden somewhere with a pink sheep named Mary. Oh, it's not letting me break. Oh, there it is. And this one, I remember I hid it in the chest next to my bed. That's why that one's there. So, all right. So there's that. I promised I would show at least one filthy sex dungeon. That's where I was, I think, building this stuff with. There's still one more thing to show here. Teleport, mate. Teleport. See all those lines at the top? Now I gotta find it. I've got an elevator blocks camouflaged here on one of these entrances, and I don't remember which one it is. It's not that one. I may have to break it. I don't know if I'm going to be able to... Back then I knew where it was, because I used it all the time. But I had some of these were elevator blocks. Panel. Oh, there it is. Elevator. Here we are. So here we are in the museum rooms. So this is a blood chamber. So in here I have one of all the different people heads you can get in the game. So all the different peoples with their head. There's Bacon, Donut, and Darkosto, who are the creators of Sky Factory 4. That's their skins just hanging around in there. And then, this is my blood room. I wanted to have the visual, like, you're kind of in hell, prisoned in hell. Blood is breaking through, overflowing, and the fountain is broken. And it's cracking and overflowing the floor. It's kind of the design I was going for on this. And then, if you'll notice, I use those same blocks I talked about earlier, the blood channels. If you notice on the wall, all the blood is flowing up, not down. It was important to me that it was coming down. And I'll tell you what, you can make the blood channels flow on angles and everything, but you got to place it in certain directions in order to get it to go certain directions. So making it so that all the rivers flowed correctly was a challenge. Because these are all blood channels, so they would go the direction I wanted them to. How did you get the people? So you can just use a mob imprisonment tool to pick up a mob. And so what I did is, in the hunting dimension, I made a big flat area, right? Where things just spawn non-stop, and I just kind of waited for a bunch to spawn and flew in and grabbed the ones I needed. And I already had all the heads in here, so I knew who I was looking for, which ones I was missing. So I'd gone and put all the heads in here ahead of time. Now, this said, if you look at this, there's no Spider-Man here. Remember I said in the current world, there are heads I'd never seen before? They're not back here, and I had every head in the game back then inside of this thing. Again, the blood channels flow up, not down. Okay, so that one I like. Hang on. That's the room I think I want to do last. Yeah. So then there's this room. Now, back then, I'd started the membership program around this time. And so I started adding a sign for everybody as they joined my membership program. Neon Silver was my first moderator, one of the first people to join the community. As was Alexa Bliss for Life, Mr. Moog, the MT, Caspin, Buck Beans, Mr. Jim. I forgot. For those of you who don't remember, Mr. Jim passed away in May. We lost Jim in May, unfortunately. There's Turtle. Ty Joe, Onlydraven's Lost Dog. Somebody changed their name to that. Scott Allen is a good friend in real life. But again, I was adding members as they joined the memberships on the wall. James Cheeseboy was my second moderator. Gus. That was Gus. James, Teresa, Mystique, Shadowcast was on there. Jack Disney. Mr. Beast, early contender. Some of these names I've not seen in a long time, now that I think about it. But, Mr. Terry Griffiths. There's you, Mr. Terry Griffiths. I want to say your name was Terry Griffiths back then. Peepoo, I remember Peepoo. Ashley White, I'm pretty sure that's Miss Smashley before she got married to Mr. Cooper, Jim's wife. It's Miss Smashley there. Panda's there. Lost Dog. Third alt. Some people joined up multiple times. Who else is over here? Zero Cool. That's Shadowcast's husband. Muttley. Haven't seen Muttley. Punkbuster. KT Townsgirl. I haven't seen her in a while. Rex. William Sanchez. Man, some of these names I've not seen in a long time. That's Mystique's daughter, Rose. Sandrockstone. Yeah. That was just a little throne where I sat here surrounded by my friends. Was the concept. Yeah, long time, right? Long time. I really like the way this room turned out. And again, I used that's moon juice. Floating down and then breaking up. It's on fire! I think that's moon juice. I don't know, something. But yeah, so this room, I like the way this room looked. Turned out nice. I was happy with the design. You think Sky Factory 5 is better? No, God, no. Sky Factory 4 is the best. Sky Factory 3 is next. It's the blood room. What's on this side? Oh, this is where you go outside to be able to look around. Okay. I'm still on fire! Thank you. Alright, so now we're going to go to my favorite room. One of my favorite rooms I've ever built. Not the favorite room. That was the Moon Juice room. So, unfortunately, some things have despawned. But this was a room where I was showing off all of the Twilight Forest monsters. There was a Draven in armor here, but he's despawned. There's the snow guy. We got the Ice Queen up here. This was the Moosh room. He despawned. I'm not sure who that would have been. Then we got the snake. I put him in a little forest in there I designed. This is where we learned that if you try to pick up a Hydra, you will destroy your game. Because the Hydra is designed in its programming to not move from one location. So when I tried to pick it up using several different things, as soon as I tried, it crashed the Twilight Forest and I'd have to pull from it back up. Couldn't even go back into it. You cannot pick up the Hydra. It will destroy your game. So if you go into JI here, and pull up syringes, you'll see paralyzer, syringe, stimulant, and pacifier. So pacifier and paralyze. Paralyze will hold them in place. So they don't move around. Now, aggressive will make them so they just don't attack things. Some things, even passive, will destroy. The mushroom, I had to use Unbreakable Glass because he has this smash move that even paralyzed or passive, he would still occasionally do it and smash that and then get out and mess with things. I don't know who I'm missing, but I'm missing somebody else. But yeah. But this was the other giant Draven, but it despawned. The one in, because there's one in armor, one out of armor. But yeah. I really like the way that room looks. I use liquid XP to fall like fountains in there. That's Big Squeaky. Yeah, also you have to, naming them helps. That's Big Squeaky. So yeah, I was pretty proud of this room. It was a cool idea. That's just where I was building stuff with it. The glitch? No, it wasn't the glitch. These are all Twilight Forest bosses. Off the top of my head, can't remember who I'm missing. Like, that's the mushroom, and that's the other one of this guy. But first thing you fight is the Naga, then you fight the Lich. Naga, Lich. There's the maze guy. Mushroom would have been over there. That one might have just been empty. I might have had an extra one. I don't know. But I do know the mushroom is missing, and I know the... Oh, the ram! That's probably who it was. You are correct. That's what was in this one. The ram is missing. No, Lich is up here. Got the Lich. For the Lich, I'd use that anti-teleporting torch thing. I think you're right. I think it was the ram. I think you nailed it. I'd paralyze him too, because he'll eat blocks, right? You notice they different kind of colored patterns and stuff. But, yeah. Pretty pleased with it. Pretty pleased with it. Oh, I see what you mean, Bob. But yeah, so this is one thing I wanted to show off because I was very proud of that room, and I mean, probably no one will ever see it again. So I was looking for this in the wrong world. Again, this playthrough was one of the best playthroughs we ever had. It was probably the longest Sky Factory 4 world I spent time in because we did a lot of stuff like just building things for fun. You know what I mean? Alright, so let's finish up on the current world, right? Because that's where we're at right now. Way down here in Challenges 2025. I really haven't done anything much at all since you guys were here last. Hold on a second. Sorry, I just had a pop-up. I thought it was going to crash. Oh, no, it didn't. Okay. Never mind, we're back. All these years, and I still break things. There wasn't a maze in that barn. There was the maze built down underneath. There was a massive maze that showed up. And that brings us to this current playthrough. Of course, there were countless Minecraft mod packs in between. Good and bad. I remember somebody earlier saying they really... My Volcano Block was their favorite one. Volcano Block was the worst mod pack I ever played. That I can remember. I mean, well, I shouldn't say that. It's probably been worse one since. At the time, I hated every second of it, man. God, I hated it. It just did not enjoy it at all. But Stone Blocks were great. Insane Craft was great. Sky Farm was great. What was that mystical one? It was like a sky block that was a mystical one. I can't think of what it was called. I think it was based on mystical agriculture. That one was great. All the mods ones that I played were really good. All the mods to the sky. Stone Block 3 was bad. Stone Block 3 was horrendously bad. I agree with you. Would I say it's the worst pack I've ever played? Be in the top 3. For just building things, Mystical Block. Thank you. That's what it was, Ezreal. I appreciate that. Make my own pack. I don't have the knowledge to do that. I don't have the technical understanding. I don't know anything about coding or any of that kind of stuff. And if you're going to make a big pack work, like I've watched Darkosto build Sky Factory 5 and stuff and work on other mod packs that he's made. and him getting in there messing with the coding, I might as well be reading another language. I am reading it. It's another language. I don't understand it. I mean, you can just put stuff together and say, here's a mod. But if you want to make a big one that works with achievements and like Skypack Gore, you have to have that kind of knowledge to pull it off. And I don't have that knowledge, and I have no desire to learn. Again, it's not high on the list of things that I would want to do. You know people. Yeah, but then I'm not making a pack. Somebody else is making a pack. If I know people who can make a pack, they're probably already making a pack. What they need me for, right? Oh, my goodness. So, yeah. So, here we are in this. This is where we left off. I haven't done anything really much since you guys were here last. I didn't do how this was a decent playthrough. Overall, not too bad. Not too bad. It went well. I'm very happy with how it looks. I'm very happy with the design of it. Being in the Twilight Forest is kind of glitchy. I don't think I'd build in the Twilight Forest again, but the design of the city using the Naga walls was pretty good. PRC, pressurized reaction chamber. A lot of people hate it. I don't mind it that much. I mean, it sucks, but it's like, I've had worse. You know what I mean? Like, am I in creative? I'm in creative right now. I better be careful not to break anything. Pressurized reaction chamber is needed for a bunch of different machines. There it is right there. Pressurized. You use it to make HEPL. No, God. What are they called? Pellets. The pellets. I forget what they're called. HDPE. There we go. HDPE pellets and several other products, gases and things. They're the mod. The tutorial for that gets more questions than any other tutorial I've ever made. People find it very confusing. And to be honest with you, most of the questions I get are stupid. I'm not calling people stupid, except I am. And I'll tell you why. Because they came to me and they're like, and in the tutorial, I'm like, you can use multiple gases to do different things in the PRC. As an example, I'm going to use hydrogen in this one and show you how to use the machine. And everybody comes to the same thing. Yeah, but how do you get hydrogen? I came here to learn how to get hydrogen. Well, motherfucker, this isn't a tutorial called how to make hydrogen, you dumb shit. It's called how to use the machine. I'm showing you how to use the machine. You can use multiple things in the machine. If you want a tutorial on how to make hydrogen, look for a tutorial called how to make hydrogen. I don't understand why this is so hard for people. It's just that one tutorial where people come there going, I can try how to make hydrogen. Numbnuts. That's not what this tutorial is called. The HTTP, it does more than one thing. Please, think about what you're doing here. It's frustrating. But, it's just people who aren't paying attention. That's like somebody came in here and is saying, hey, I'm going to show you how to make a cake. Alright, and you can make lots of sorts of cakes you can like. Alright, here's some icing and here's some things and so on and so forth. Yeah, but how do you buy eggs? I came here to learn how to buy eggs. This isn't a shopping tutorial, dumbass. Again, always been a pet peeve of mine. But yeah, I didn't want to say anything because I don't want people to not watch my channel. Last stream, right? What do I care? That tutorial. If you have questions about how the PRC works, I got your back. You need how to do something. You need how to learn how to do something else, because it doesn't make hydrogen. Anyways, frustrating. Brian pops in and says, hey, just wanted to say I love your content. Really get to catch the stream, but glad to catch this one. Skype is amazing and have helped me so much. Wish you the best. But thank you very much, Brian. I appreciate it. And thank you for stopping by. It's a pleasure to have you. And I'm glad that I'm still helpful. Less people are watching those tutorials than used to, because less and less people are playing Sky Factory 4. Although I think it's going to be around for a while. It's still one of the best mod packs out there. My favorite ever. But it's still out there. Well, I think we're starting to get near the end of things. At least the end of Minecraft. Yeah. But that said, as a reminder, I will still stream on occasion. I mean, I'm not even saying even once a month, maybe less than that. But I'll pop up if the mood hits me or I feel like hanging out or just saying hi. Maybe Minecraft, maybe another game. It may just me hopping on while working on something else and just want to chat with people while I'm doing it. I may also pop up occasionally in my Discord and just chat with people. I mean, I'm definitely going to be typing and active in the Discord. I don't plan on that changing, at least as active as I always am. Probably be a little bit more active in the Discord now. So, I mean, I still recommend joining that. You want to come by. If you still have Minecraft questions and you need help, me and the community are a huge knowledge base who are able to help. Come on by the Discord still. I mean, I'm not streaming doesn't mean I might not be able to answer a question. Happy to if I can try, you know. Keep on the list, see how things are going. If you have any interest in my Merged Worlds stuff, I'll probably be putting regular updates on how that's going. Sharing some updates and things on there. Extra Life, I still plan on doing probably, I don't know how long. I don't know if I'll do a full 12 hours. I'll do a long stream. I might do like 6 or 8 hours. It just depends. I used to do a 24-hour stream and then found that for like 16 hours of that, nobody donated because it's the middle of the night. Maybe I'd get $1 here or there. All the donations happen in the evening, usually by 1 o'clock. So if I do an Extra Life stream, I might stream from like 6 to 12. You know what I mean? 6 to 1. Do like a 6 or 7 hour stream. Because the whole point of doing it is trying to raise money for charity. No sense keeping myself awake all night to do nothing. So I'll probably, you can expect I will be doing for 100% sure an Extra Life stream probably in November or December. I have to see which weekend is Extra Life weekend. I may not do it on Extra Life weekend because then I'm competing with everybody else who's doing an Extra Life stream. Makes it hard for people to donate to different people. So I might try to plan mine a few weeks off of everybody else's. But I am going to do an Extra Life stream. I'm still doing maybe an animal charity stream once a year. So I'm still going to do some of that. But like I said, I may even on occasion pop in and say, anybody want to play Jackbox for an hour or two? And there may not be much warning. I may just post it in the Discord, hey guys, going to stream in an hour, and then post it on YouTube, depending on the mood or, what's going on. I expect I'll have a Jackbox night when the new pack comes out, which I'm pretty sure is October, if they don't push it back. Merge World stuff, especially since cliffhanger, everything I do is a cliffhanger, sir. Everything I do. Yeah. Does this work? It's not working. Of course not. These things never work the way I plan. See, that's the one thing with portal guns. They're so unreliable. Crazy. Portal guns are great, though. I highly recommend them. Oh, there it is. Portal was in here. Woot. Yay! I made a thing today. I cleaned out a dome. It took a couple hours this morning. But I really do appreciate everybody coming and hanging with me. You know what I mean? I've had a lot of really good times over the last few years. And like I said, I'm not going to disappear into that great night or nothing. But I won't be streaming anywhere near as much as I did. Regular streaming, unfortunately, has taken a toll. It's definitely taken a toll on my health. I've just consistently gotten fatter. So I need to get back to working out. My family's been on me about it and spending more time with them and stuff like that. So I'm going to take advantage of that opportunity to do so. But yeah, I appreciate everybody. I've had a lot of awesome opportunities because of you guys. I've had a lot of fun telling stories. Old roommate John, who passed away many years ago, is going to live on because a lot of you guys get to remember that. So, old roommate John stories about visiting China. If you haven't, you still want more content, a lot of my old streams are up there. I definitely recommend going and checking them out. They're still available. I'm not taking anything down One stream series is currently missing, but it'll be going back up soon. Don't worry about it. I'm not going to talk about why, but it will be going up again. But the Ocean Block series I did a couple playthroughs ago is currently offline. I'm working on it. It'll be back soon. Yeah, the convention is done. I got through the convention. The convention didn't really help the channel like I hoped it would. Didn't bring any real attention to it. I was hoping that maybe... The convention was a small convention, too. It didn't do phenomenally. You know what I mean? It wasn't just me, just in general. It was their first year they did it, and first years are always rough. But it was a cool experience. Boy, I lost a lot of money on that. My God. Lost a couple grand on that. Right now, my ODG store is still up on my website. Not that I'm saying anybody should buy anything. It probably will be coming down here very soon. And I'll be editing the website to remove any references to like a stream schedule or that I'm an active streamer. You know, don't want to mislead anybody. But links to all my socials, the Merge World stuff will still be up there. And links to Extra Lives and things. Like I said, I'm not taking anything down. I'm still going to pop up occasionally. I'm not going to disappear. In fact, like I said, I'll probably be a bit more active on the Discord. But again, I've had a lot of cool experiences. I got to meet a lot of awesome people. Made a lot of good friends on here. And had just a lot of wonderful experiences. We've also raised a lot of money. Going back and looking over it, for charity alone, we made close to $6 grand over the years. Is my estimate based on what I could find. It may have been a little more than that, but we've made a minimum of $6 grand for charity over the last 7 or 8 years I've been doing this. There's an interesting factoid. I'm not walking out the door right now, by the way. I'm still gonna be around here for a few more minutes. I'm not shutting everything down quite yet. But let's talk a little bit about the numbers. So right now, the channel has 28,361 subscribers. Although that's dropped a bit the last few days. Had a couple days where I lost more than I gained. But it's pretty awesome, man. 25K. I remember my goal was to hit 1,000, dude. Because then I'd earn money on my videos, and I'd be a professional streamer. And I remember wanting to hit 5,000 and 10,000. 25,000 was a huge one. I always hoped to hit 100, but I think at 100,000 you get the silver play button and stuff. I'm never going to see that, but it was still kind of cool. Overall, just to give you an idea, across all my videos and streams, right now, my channel has had 13.6 million views. 13.6 million times has someone watched some of my content. They've only been a couple minutes. Some of that may be people watching some things repetitively or seeing the same tutorials multiple times. So I'm not going to say 13.6 million people have watched, but that's a lot of time somebody has spent a couple seconds listening to my weird voice and looking at my ugly mug and the crap I've put together, hoping somebody would find it entertaining or helpful, which is pretty kick-ass. 646.6 thousand hours of my content have been watched. That is a ton. That's a lot. Let's see here. Thank you for all you did. Oh, thank you, Nubis. I appreciate that. Community and the best. Things make you happy, old friend. I appreciate that as well. I know my wife's happy. I'm going to spend one more time with her. Because a lot of times we have wanted to do things, but we couldn't because I didn't want to skip streaming. You know what I mean? Because I know how often... I mean... Every week somebody's like, I'm looking so forward to the stream this week. And I'm like, well, I definitely don't want to cancel if I can help it. And I always feel so bad when I have to. Ezreal says, sir, it's been a great pleasure attending your streams and getting to know you like we have. Believe videos are going to be missed dearly. We're going to be changing our household. I got you. I'm sorry for that. I do feel bad about it. I feel like I'm kind of like letting people down a little bit by doing so. But again, it's for the best. Kind of have to. At this point, let's see. Been an interesting ride. It's one of the things I'll miss. Well, I appreciate that, Gary. How many of those is me watching the HTTP? Yeah. I got it memorized at this point. I've made it a lot, man. I made it a lot. HDPE. My goodness. But like I said, I'm going to be working on other creative stuff. Those of you who like fantasy, like to read, like Dungeons and Dragons, keep an eye out for updates about my book. It'll be the first book I write. God, I hope I'm not a horrible writer. That's always been a fear, you know. That's one of the reasons I've never written Merge Worlds into a book. I'm always afraid I'm never going to be able to get it on paper as well as I say it, right? Because I've always considered myself more of a storyteller than I do a writer, if that makes sense. Basic idea. I'm still coming up with the idea, but I've always felt things come across better when I tell it, you know. But I feel like it's time to give it a shot. Even if it's bad, nobody buys a copy. At least I know it's out there and I did it. You know what I mean? So, Merge Worlds novel series. Keep an eye out for that. There are actually a couple other series out there that are also called Merge Worlds, but spelled differently, or multiple worlds and stuff. I've done some research. Nothing appears to be trademarked, so I should be fine. But yeah. When my goal is to have the first book out by the first day of summer of next year. I know it sounds like a long time. It's 10 months. And it may be sooner than that. But I want to make sure I do it right. And I feel like, again, I'm in a slightly different situation than a lot of other writers, I personally feel. Like, a lot of writers have to sit down and come up with a story, right? And I do have to do that, because I'm going to have to change things, you know. I'm going to have to alter stuff of the story, so when those of you do read it, it's going to be different than you've heard it before. Not a ton, but it'll be some. Hey, Boopy, want your squishes? Hold on a second. We're feeding my kitty. Come here.
Got it.
Come on. It's lunchtime for the kitty. Come here.
Hey, bedtime.
Come here. Come on, some squishes. Come here. She doesn't want to get out of bed. Well, it's right here if you want it. It's okay. I'll keep an eye on her. She's sleepy. She's not used to me not feeding her. So, I usually feed them at night. But, I mean, some things are going to change. But I don't think in a bad way. I think it's just going to be a little bit more unique. Right? It's going to be a little less of the stuff you see out there, and a little bit more of mine. But then, again, there's we run into my thing. A lot of people have to write their story. I don't. I have to go back and watch hundreds of hours of myself telling the story. Because, like, I have a lot of it written. You know what I mean? But some of it was improv. And so I have to go back and make sure I don't miss anything. You know what I mean? Gotta miss anything. Record it, then transcribe it. Well, yeah, I mean, my issue is that, unfortunately, I have it recorded. But in the middle of those recordings is me having conversation with the community, or talking about the technical D&D side of things, or showing you the maps, and all of that can't be part of the book, right? So, that's the other thing, right? Nubis asks, gotta know, does the kitty have its teeth pulled? Great question. So, we got a call from the vet's office that we've been waiting on to reschedule her appointment, only to find out they're shutting down permanently. So, our vet is teaming up with another lady who's in the process of building an animal dental office specialty place in our town in Knoxville, 20 minutes away, right now. And it'll be open by October. So she was actually at our local vet's earlier this week, and they took Buffy in so she could see her. And I'm supposed to call. Their actual scheduling opens up on Tuesday. They're going to start scheduling for when they open. So I'm supposed to call them Tuesday and schedule it. So it looks like it will be in October. How much will it be? Turtle, I will sign anything you want, man. That's not a problem. You and I are going to get together, and I told my wife the other day I need to set up time for you and me to get together and go grab a bite to eat anyways. You know what I mean? We'll get together and grab us a lunch and hang out, because that's something I've been wanting to do for a long time. But Buffy will get her teeth pulled. Looks like we're looking at October at this point, as soon as they get the building open. They're not sure the exact opening date yet, because the building's literally being built. They're not converting. They're building a building for this, a dental specialist. So, but the important thing to me is we have a doctor who seems to know what they're doing, and we have a timeline now. So we have medicine for her, pain medicine. We have antibiotics. We're going to be able to get her through. She's been waiting this long. We're going to get her through. Yeah, you don't have to worry about signing it, man. I'll just show up. Needed answer, man. You don't have to worry about that, man. If you're in the area, I'll meet you somewhere and sign it. I got no problem with that. An enlistment contract for you to sign. That's fine. I'll sign it on the back. Best wishes. I get to pick where I sign it. I'm not signing on any direct line, but I'll sign it on the back. Funny thing about contracts. But yeah. So yeah. Like I said, I'm still going to be out there. I'm going to be around. I'm going to switch to the more Draven view here real quick. I'm going to go ahead and shut off Minecraft now. But yeah. I think it'll be a good time. It's going to be stressful, right? Because I want it to look good. But that's my big project. I'll be writing a book over the next year. No, it's not Minecraft. Custom fantasy D&D style story. The first of a series. I'm hoping to read it. The hard part, for those of you who know Merged Worlds, I think we've hammered it out now. I've been talking with some folks who know the story, and I'm going to start the story after the merge with the Serenity folks, the main cast. Like just a few months after where their part of the story starts, and then they'll learn the history as they go out on their adventure. I'm not going to start with the brothers in the world before. That hopefully would be a book later on down the road, be like a prequel. Charles, I feel bad because we've caused you to despise playing Minecraft. No, you haven't caused anything, man. You've not caused me to despise playing Minecraft. In fact, everybody who actually watches me regularly, I appreciate the fact you want to watch me at all. That's awesome. It's no different than anything else, man. No matter how much you like something, if you do it too much, you'll get tired of it. That's what it is. Not counting pizza. Could never get tired of pizza. That's what I had for dinner tonight. Pizza. Marco's Pizza is my new favorite pizza, man. I have them do triple green olives. It's so good. But anyways, yeah, no matter what you do, you get tired of it. That's just how it works. So where are you working at now? So I work for a telecom community. Provide an internet provider. Not a cable TV provider. No, I don't work for Comcast or Xfinity. But I work in their customer service. I work from home. My work computers are right there. But, Marcos is good. It is very, very good. I agree. And their crust is pretty good. And like I said, they have a better selection of toppings than any of the other chains. What else? I feel like there's other updates I wanted to give, but I don't know what. I know there's some other things I want to work on as well. I had considered doing a podcast, but not anytime soon. If anything, if I came back to making content again, it would probably come back in some form of podcast, although I don't know what it would be about. But that's more along the lines of the type of content I was making. Oh, hey, Rachel, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I apologize. On this screen, pop-ups don't normally work, so I apologize if the YouTube pop-up doesn't jump up there. But thank you very much. I appreciate your donation. Hey, one last donation to say goodbye. I appreciate that, Rachel. Thank you very much. Stick with Modern Minecraft when you're feeling overwhelmed. It can get overwhelming. There's a lot in there. I've felt it myself many, many times. Other than writing books, do you have any new hobbies or adventures? Well, I'm going to get back to working out again. Like I said, I was mentioning it earlier. I'd lost a lot of weight, and I'm going to show this picture again. Now, I'm not trying to brag. This is what I looked like around the time I started streaming. I was working out 5 to 6 days a week, an hour to 2 hours a day minimum. And then I started streaming and making videos, and I didn't have time to go to the gym anymore, and I stopped working out, and pandemic hit, and I started eating, and then my wife got sick, and I started eating more. These are all excuses. I mean, it all comes down to the fact I'm just a fat bastard. It's all my own, it's what it is. But taking the time to be able to go to the gym and things like that. Hold on, what's wrong? Oh, just set it right here. I'll get it. Thank you. You're on camera. That was my wife bringing me down her medicine holder. Speaking of my wife's health, I have to fill this thing with. She takes like 13 pills a day broken up, or no, 17 pills a day broken up over different days and times. So every Saturday night I spend an hour putting out all her pills for the week. Because there's so many, and with her health condition, she loses track of them, so I got to kind of be on top of it now. Hey, Ezreal, thank you very much as well. I appreciate that. One more. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you. You didn't have to do that, you guys, but thank you. I do appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun. Working out and writing is the big two things that I plan on working on, and just spending some more time away from my computer. That's probably a big goal for me. The last couple weeks I've been unplugging after work, and sometimes that means I'm watching videos on my phone or watching movies. And my wife is a big horror buff, and I bought a big specialty Trivial Pursuit horror themed edition. And we don't even play the game. We just sit there and we take a handful of the cards and we just read the questions off to each other and see who can first one to get to 10 answers kind of thing. It's more of our speed. But, we'll make dinner, sit down on the couch, each of us on one end of the couch, and just read horror questions back and forth or something like that. She's gotten into fantasy over the last year, so I've been getting her into some of that. So just spend more time with the family, trying to get away from my computer. I've spent so much time I spent all my time over the last 6 years staring at my computer for work, and then after work, and on my days off, and I think that's the issue. If I didn't work on my computer all day, I probably wouldn't be as big of a problem. If I had a job where I went out and hands-on, worked in a factory, worked in a store, something, I have to work on a computer it's kind of like my family, my distant family complains that I never call them. But I work in a call center. I'm on the phone 8 to 10 hours a day. Last thing I want to do when I get off the phone is get back on the fucking phone. You know what I mean? Text me, email me, IM me. I'm happy to chat with you that way. I talked for 8 hours. And that's another part of this, right? After talking for 8 to 10 hours, then I have an hour to get a bite to eat, and then I get on here and talk to you guys for 2 to 3 hours. And I go to bed a lot of times with like sore jaw or my head hurting just from talking all day. So taking the time away from my computer has been really nice. I usually get off work. I have been getting off work because I was in training at like 5 o'clock. And then 8 or 8:15, I'll hop on, do a few basic things in Raid Shadow Legends, a game that I play, for about 15, 20 minutes. And then I shut my computer off, go upstairs, spend time with the wife, feed the cats, make sure she takes medicine. I'm in bed by 10 or 10:30 at night. And now that training is officially over, starting next week, I'll be working like 10 and 10 and a half hour shifts half the time. So it's going to be even more of that, which means I'm going to want more time away from the computer. Hopefully this all makes sense, what I'm saying. And the writing, and the things with, even with writing, my goal is to schedule myself like 2 or 3 hours every weekend, but not at the same time. Sometimes it'll be at night, sometimes it'll be in the morning, If I want to go do something for the day, I don't want to have to rush home if I have to, because I have a stream, right? So if I want to write, I'm going to do it Saturday, but then the wife wants to go out, okay, I'll just write on Sunday instead. But I want to make sure I dedicate several hours a week, 2 or 3 hours, and more if I feel like it, but a minimum of 2 to 3 hours of me working on the book in some form or fashion, whether that's just listening to the old podcasts and taking notes, going through all the old. I have a stack of binders and books this high down here under my desk of the story over the years, with the maps and all the information on the gods and the so on and so forth. So I've got to go through all that and decipher where do I want my story to begin, the book to begin and end, because I got way too much story to fit in one. So how do I make the ending of the first book feel like the ending of a book? They can't all end on just a straight up, like one thing about telling the story live is I'm like, okay, I'm going to stop right here, and we're going to continue in a week or two, right? whatever my next episode is, and I'll keep telling you the story. Ooh, you got a cliffhanger, you got to wait a couple weeks, like a TV show. Can't really do that with books. I can't just stop the story in what would feel like the middle of the story and be like, and the next book will be out in 8 months. No one's going to wait for that. So the books, each book has to feel like it has at least some kind of closure to it, even with an open ending or a cliffhanger. There still has to feel like your story, right? Your story goes up and comes down and ends. So it's figuring out where the story each book needs to start, and finding that the story and then cutting it into the chunks that I need for the book, And I feel like I'll have an idea, and then I'll start writing it, and as I write it, the story is going to get thicker, right? Because now I have to describe stuff in more detail. As Willow walked through the sunny meadow. That's not how I would say it when I'm telling the story to you. I have to flesh it out more, so that's going to thicken it up some. So I assume each book will be relatively thick. It's going to be more of Wizard's First Rule. Have you ever read any of those sort of truth novels? Those are some thick ass books. I feel mine will probably be relatively thick ass books. It is what it is. As for asking if you met my wife, she wasn't on camera. She was off camera. That was my mother-in-law came down first to feed my cat, but then Buffy is laying right next to me. She's right here. You can't see it. She's right here, laying in a kitty bed that's up on my desk. But she didn't want to get out for food. She's sleeping. And then my wife came down to bring me her pill holder. But she just was off camera. She didn't come on camera at all. Yeah, I've got a lot of ideas for the book. I know exactly what I want the cover to look like. I'll have to find an artist. So the code thing I was talking about, I didn't even know about this. My wife was a librarian by trade. She was a literature major. It's what her degree is in. She used to work in a library. So when I asked her about this, she knew all about it. But there's these specific codes that you have to buy. It's basically like a barcode, but it's a number. And it's basically how they track your book, right? This is your book. And they're not cheap. They're like $125 to get one. The problem is, you need one for every type of book and edition. So, if I get a book and I want to make it available in hardcover, softcover, ebook, audiobook, hypothetically, that's 4 codes I'd have to have. Now, the more you buy, the cheaper they get. And they drop pretty heavily. For like $500, you can get or like $350, you can get like 10 of them, right? It's probably what I'd have to do. Or for like $1,000, you can get 100 of them. The more you get, the way cheaper they get. But I'm not gonna need it. I'm not gonna need that many. So it's gonna be a cost. That's another thing. Over the year, I'll have to take advantage of these things. But I have to figure out: do I have to buy that? Can I buy it now and then it's ready for when I do it, or do I have to wait till I have the name of the book and the series and I'm ready to publish it? And I have to register it when I get that number. I don't know quite how that works yet. So there's a lot of research I have to find out. I'm just going to be putting it up as available on Amazon. And that's another thing, right? When you're getting covers are different sizes, the dimensions. So for every different way I want to release the book, I have to pay someone to make a different variant of the cover to that dimensions. So that's another thing you got to look into. So it costs more, depending on how you want to release it. My goal would be to be able to do hardcover, softcover, and ebook, right? I'm not going to do an audiobook. If you want an audiobook, watch the old streams. But I don't plan on doing an audiobook. At least not now, maybe. Trying to think of anything else. So yeah, working out and the book, spending a bit more time with my family and away from the computer. I got back into buying DVDs and Blu-rays lately. Like everybody else, I made that switch to digital media. And then now every streaming service is its own frickin' monster. And you have to have 10 different streaming services that all cost $15, and they're all getting more expensive. And half of them still have ads on them. And then, even then, if the thing you want on there, you want to watch is there, doesn't mean it's going to be there tomorrow. They can take it down any day. I got tired of that. And so now I'm just going back to buying the movies that I like, and I can watch them when I want. My whole family's reconverted to that. Got DVD and Blu-ray players for each of our rooms, and starting to collect some physical media again. So that's on the list. Your book cover is a form of a Minecraft image? No. It's not going to be that. No, I know exactly what it's going to look like. But, ow. And for those of you who keep up with Merge Worlds, the concept is I want the cover of the book to look like the cover of a book. I know that sounds stupid. I'm going to explain. I want the cover of the book to look like an old book, like if someone had gotten a tome of the library. So each one I want to look like it's a different texture. Dragon hide, leather, alligators, different types of colors, different types of thing. And then I want, there'll be a symbol in the middle of it that looks like a metal button. If you've ever seen Never-Ending Story, you know it has that metal amulet the princess wears on the cover. It's going to look like that, but it's going to be one of the different gods' symbols for each book based on the primary god story that falls within that. It's kind of the idea I'm looking at. But that's kind of the feel that I'm going for. So I gotta I have to do everything like figure out what fonts I want. I have so much weird crap. That's not even involved with writing the damn thing. That's just the side effect of writing the thing. But I'm going to try to work on all that while I'm writing, so I don't finish a book and then have to do it all. You know what I mean? Try to multitask. Are you going to keep the Merge World symbols the same? So the flaming moon, yes. The flaming moon is going to be the symbol on the first book. That's the actual Merged World symbol, and it'll be the icon on the first book. And then after that, it'll be the different gods' symbols moving on. Because that symbol is technically also the symbol that's on the flag for Rafe Firemoon. That's Rafe Firemoon's symbol. That's what the Merged World symbol always was. Because their last name was Firemoon. It's a flaming moon. That's the whole premise of it. So yes, that will be the first one. And then be the gods. Like you can imagine, for those of you who've watched the story, right? Like, obviously a book that's Artemis heavy is going to have Tavian, the god of healing, on it, right? But I have like 8 god symbols for good, neutral, and evil. I got a ton of god symbols to choose from, right? But I figure if I do it the same font, the same style art, because Shadow designed all those symbols, so they're all in her design. I just need whoever does the art cover to make it look like a more metal button or badge on the cover of the book. That's what I want it to look like. Then, I mean, that gives me like 16 books worth of symbols, right? On top of the first one, which is the actual Merge World symbol. So I don't know when I get to 17 freaking books, but I have a lot of options to choose from. And so, on a shelf, if you will, it's going to be easy to see same font, same idea, same so on and so forth. They'll look like a set, but each book will be its own color. And if you look close at it, it'll look like maybe it's reptile skin. There's different types, right? Dragon scale from everything else. One could even look like fur. It could be different types of textures for the cover of the book. Even though it's a hard book, right? It's not actually have texture, but it looks like that texture. So one of them could be human skin. I could use the god of evil, Necronomicon kind of style thing. You know what I mean? There's a lot of different options I could take that. World famous book author. Well, right now I'm just talking to you about the cover. I don't have a single word written yet, so I don't know if famous book author is going to run in there like that. But if you don't know what I'm talking about for Never-Ending Story. There we go. This is what the cover of the actual book in Never-Ending Story looks like. Now, I'm not saying I'm a different font. I'm not going to have the metal things in the corner. I have different ideas to make it decorative. But a book, that's actually supposed to be, it's a metal 3-dimensional necklace on the front of the thing. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of what I'm looking. I want the symbol to be about that size. It's not going to take up the whole book. It's going to look like, here's a book with a thing on the front of it, like a button, like a 3-dimensional button coming off of it. So that's kind of the idea that I'm looking for. With, again, different types of decorative things on each one, which will be affected by what part of the story it's in and which characters are the primary, what's going on in that book, right? Never-Ending Story, great movie. Great movie. Great. Okay. Great. I say great book, but the book I read was an adaptation of the movie. I want to say someone said there's actually a book version of it, but chicken or egg, man. I don't know what came first. Was the movie based on a book called Neverending Story? About a book called Neverending Story? Or was the movie first and the book came later? I don't know. But the book I read was clearly an adaptation of the movie. I got a whole 6-pack of these little pink lemonades sitting next to me. They're delicious. Book came first. I know it did in a lot of sections, but I've never heard anyone talk about the book Neverending Story. People don't, a lot of things, people are like, oh, you should have read the book. You like the movie, you should read the book. No one ever says that about Neverending Story, you know what I mean? So, how are you going to get publicity for your book? I don't even know if I will, to be honest with you. No, I haven't really thought about that yet. Because, again, I don't think no publisher is going to pick me up. I don't think my stuff's that good. There's so much competition out there for it. That's why I'm just going to do it myself. I'll probably do some just stuff myself, social medias, things like that. I already have a Merge World's Instagram, things like that. Try to advertise some of that. Probably make a YouTube video or something, put it out there. Maybe pay for ads. I'll have to look and see what are options. Offer to send copies for free to people who review books. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. People who have a decent following. Doesn't mean they'll review it. Doesn't mean they'll review it well. But, I mean, people do stuff like that. Right? Speaking of symbols, wife's so happy that you still have the cross stitch. Oh, hell yeah! That has been on camera since I got it, dude. It used to hang on the wall, but I kind of ran out of space, so I put it on there instead. Yes, 100%. That has been there. I got several things sent from you. The other stuff you sent is on the shelf. There's a little yellow book down there, a Minecraft book. I believe you were the one who sent that, or I got it at the same time. But it's down there. And in my filing cabinet in my bedroom, in my closet, I still have all the letters that people used to send. I used to have a P.O. box, and people used to send stuff. I've got a big thing hanging on the wall here that has the ODG symbol in the Merge World, and it says Onlydraven, the YouTube king that someone had gotten sent me. I have a mouse pad someone got me. I hang on to all that stuff. Let's see. Got that. Published in 1979. Oh, that's cool. Have more faith in yourself, sir. You've written great stuff. I hope so. Well, again, I've told great stories. I'm confident that I've created a good story. I'm not unconfident in that. But I've always struggled to make it sound as good on paper as it does when I'm telling it. Because I feel I'm a natural storyteller. Not trying to brag too much, but I feel I have that. I'm relatively successful at the shit we're doing here because I tell stories. But it's harder for me to get it on paper and for it to sound as good on paper. That's where my concern is I'm hoping I can convert it finally now that I'm older and I've told the story to you guys and it's still relatively fresh in my mind and I've kind of done it more in a presentation kind of way like this, that's going to help me convert it more. Is what I'm hoping, but I don't know. Let's see. So plans to send to any big publishing companies through that pick it up. I mean, I may put the book out myself and then send it to them. I think some people do it that way. How do you self-publish a hardcover book? Great question, Terry. So basically, you can go on Amazon and you can publish your book. And it's the exact same thing like my t-shirts on my website. Right? Somebody goes on there, they can choose my book. They'll have prices for hardcover, softcover, or Kindle. Right? You can download it, the ebook. It's cheaper if you get Kindle, obviously. And then you pick it and they print on demand. Someone will print the book and send it to you. So, yeah, it's print on demand is how Amazon does it. My wife's cousin Amy has 2 or 3 books on Amazon that she's written over the last 5 years. She's a college professor here locally and a motivational speaker, and she's also trained in, I apologize. I can't remember what the actual is, but like how to market yourself using social medias and marketing and things like that. So she teaches that and creative writing and stuff. That's how I met my wife. her cousin and I used to work together at ADT many years ago, and she hooked me up with my wife. But Amy has a couple books on there. So I was talking to her. She gave me some pointers on where to look to start the process. She's the one that told me about the code and that you need and all that kind of stuff. That's where the cost really comes from. She sells. I want to say she was telling me about Fiverr. I knew about Fiverr, but she was telling me about that stuff like that. But yeah, if you go in there and you choose hardcover, they'll print on demand and send it to you. I don't know how long it takes. Usually not that long. I must have some pretty quick machines. I never thought about it. Let's see. Minecraft book? Yeah, I got that here. Everything's Coming Up Draven. Yeah, that's what I'll name my first book. Everything Coming Up Draven. That's her on Terry. It's true. Community college, writing classes. Yeah, things like that, to my knowledge, yeah. So she teaches all sorts of stuff. Amy's pretty boss. So she puts herself out there. She got like all sorts of degrees and shit. She went to college for years. I couldn't tell you what all she has, but I know she's put a shit ton of effort into learning it. So she knows what she's talking about. Real nice person. Probably one of the nicest people I've ever known. And I owe her for hooking me up with my wife. So I thank her for that. Oh, but I rue her too. I'm just kidding. Don't tell my wife I said that. I couldn't resist. Oh my goodness. Well, we've been chatting for 3 hours. It's about the time I normally shut her down. I feel we're probably getting to that point. I guess I would ask any last questions or and things I can answer. Anything else you want to know before I shut her down for officially the last time. And again, I want to stress, you're probably going to see me pop on here every couple of months just because I feel like it for the day. Probably won't be Minecraft. Maybe I'll just jump on, let you know how I'm doing with stuff, and maybe just a chatting story stream, Jackbox night, so I can play games with you while still talking, things like that. I'm still going to be on the Discord. Come by the Discord. Still going to be on the Discord. If you message me on Discord, it may take me a little while to respond, though. I don't have notifications turned on my phone because it used to be I used to get 40 and 50 messages from people a day asking me direct questions about Minecraft. I didn't have time for all that. But yeah, so yeah, just kind of hanging in, popping out, letting know what's going on. And if I get an idea for some type of cool piece of content I want to make, I'll do it. I mean, I'm not saying I'm shutting the channel down. Everything's going to be there. All the tutorials, all the streams. Except for that ocean block, which should come back up here soon. I'm working on it. I can't really talk about why, but I'm working on it. But yeah, I'll get it out there. Thank you. Well, thank you, Terry. I appreciate you being there, buddy. Giving us great content. My pleasure, John. Great 5, 6 years. Been working on it. I could tell you. Oh yeah, one last thing. So my channel, I started my channel December 10th, 2017. I got 12 views that day. That was the day I put up my first video. December 10th. Yeah, December 10th, 2017. I got 12 views. And boy, man, I was high as a hog. I was like, woo! I was high as a hog. I've been living in the South too long. That doesn't even make sense. I was high on life because I was like, hot damn, 12 people watch my video. That's awesome. No submission we've been missed with. Thank you. Thank you, Paul. I appreciate that. Casual type, if I'm back, yeah, probably like that. Makes you sad. I understand. You're looking novels. So thank you, Ezra. I appreciate that. I will keep you in the loop. Extra live stream. Yep. Early on. Keep membership. I appreciate that. Like I said, I'm going to pop in. There'll still be Jackbox nights from McKay. Like I said, I plan on streaming when the new Jackbox pack comes out in October. Definitely going to do some type of charity stream. I'll probably have some Minecraft involved with it. I don't know what it'll be, but I'll have something. And that'll be in end of November, early December, I think. So yeah, there's that. God tier Minecraft educator. I like to try. I like to help. But again, if you have questions about Minecraft, you know what I mean? If you still come by the Discord, I'm still going to be in there. If I don't know it, which is a lot, somebody does. There's a lot of really knowledgeable Minecraft people in there. So, if you have questions, swing by. Also, there is a Sky Factory and Minecraft subreddits that are also very helpful. I post on the anytime I posted a video, I posted on the Sky Factory subreddit. They were actually really nice to give me a custom title on that one, which was super nice. I don't know when they did it. No one ever told me. I just happened to notice it one day. I logged on to the I posted them on the Sky Factory, and they gave me a title, Awesome Tutorial Person. And I always appreciated that. Avid readers will definitely be keeping track of any book updates. I appreciate that. Like, if there was it'd be great if it took off. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'd love it if a ton of people read my book. Not because I want to get rich. Not that I have a problem with getting rich. But, my goal has always been just to share. I'm very proud of that story, and it means a lot to me. And so I want to share it with as many people as I can. So it'd be awesome if it picked up and people were interested. If they did, I'd probably do a local book thing, like at a bookstore if anybody wanted, or comic shops. They do stuff like that in this area all the time. I'd be willing to buy a small stack of them off of Amazon and bring them down there to the table and offer to sign anybody who wants to buy one, kind of thing. But again, that's well off in the future, and if it works, you know what I'm saying. Let's see. You're not wrong. Oh, I appreciate that. The alien leaves. The joyful memories remain. Thank you. I appreciate that, Beast. So I'll be back for the charity streams. Definitely don't want to give up on trying to help out sick kids and animals that need it. I mean, I still participate them on a personal way, and even if just a couple of people come by, my goal will be super small, because if I'm not avidly making content, a lot less people will show up to the charity streams, and I get that. But I can make $50 to $100 for charity. That'd be awesome. Help out sick kids and their families. World tour. I don't know. Well, I don't think I'll ever be that big, but I appreciate the thought. All right. Well, looks like there aren't any other questions, so I think I'm going to go ahead and call it an evening. Again, I cannot stress, thank you again so very much, all of you, for being a part of this community and giving me the opportunity to do what I've done. To be able to have a voice and to share it with people, to entertain people, which is all I ever really care about doing. If I can make somebody smile, it's worth it. You know what I mean? When it comes to Merge World, thank you for giving me the opportunity to share my story. It's something that's meant a lot to me for the 3/4 of my life. So to have the opportunity to have an audience, no matter how small, one person listens, it was worth it, So thank you for giving me that opportunity. On the off chance no one ever buys a book, at least I got to tell it here, right? So thank you, and I'll just for, again, the support, not just financially, but just, being awesome and saying so many nice things about me. I really appreciate it. But with that said, I think I'm going to call it a do. You don't have to like this one. You don't have to subscribe if you don't want to. If you want to watch the old stuff, though, I recommend going back and checking it out. There's a lot of fun stuff back there. And check out some of my alternative games, right? Like I said, I played a lot of Subnautica streams, I think, are in there, and Skyrim. I did some Let's Play stuff. And there's some things are just clips of me telling funny stories. Check out some of that stuff. Maybe you'll find some things back there you never saw before that you still find a bit interesting. Cool? Cool. All right. Well, I think that's going to do it, guys. I hope you all have yourself a wonderful rest of your weekend. Again, don't be a stranger. I'll be back eventually. You'll see me. You'll see me again. This is not forever. This is for now, right? But I'll pop back up here in a month or two when the Jackbox thing, if not sooner. Cool? Cool. All right. Kids, party hard, but party safe. Get out there and enjoy the rest of your long weekend. It will be a blast. Come by the Discord. Tell me what's going on. Show me the things you build in Minecraft. It'd be awesome. But I think that's going to do it for me. All right? All right, everybody. And I can't stress this enough. Thank you very, very much for watching. All this time. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day.